Hey, how y'all doing today? How y'all feel? Y'all feel good? In case you guys didn't know, today we crossed over to 10-2, but 10-1 was the anniversary of my born day. Some people call it their birthday. I don't really care about birthdays. I don't really celebrate birthdays. Whenever they come around, it just means that for me, it just means that another year has passed. That's my Rolodex for time passing. So it's like another year has passed. So that's all I'll be thinking about. What have I done? What can I do? What will I do? How much time do I have left? Because that's what I feel like every time I have a birthday. I feel like that's another tick on the clock that never comes back, and you don't know how much time you got left. That's all it brings me down. So, and I've been feeling some kind of way like all this week, and I really didn't realize that it was my birthday. I swear to G, I know a lot of you probably couldn't imagine that, but I did not know it was my birthday until I woke up this morning and I started getting a bunch of texts. I swear to G, I did not know. I've been busy. I go to school, I work, and my schedule is, and then I do this show. So my schedule is really like already set. So I just roll into the next day and roll into the next day. What day of the week it is, what day of the month it is, means nothing to me other than that something needs to be due, or something I need to finish to complete something, or it's time for my show. I do a show today. I have to go to class or I have to go to work or whatever. That's pretty much it. So every day of the week, there's only one day I have free. It's Thursday. Thursday is my free day. But I'm really should use that day to do schoolwork, to do homework and stuff like that. So, but I tend to not. I don't know. That hasn't been the schedule since school have started. I've pretty much slept on Thursdays, but now I think I realize that I think that the reason why I do that is because I'm tired. And like, cause see, the end of the week I work, right? And at the beginning of the week is really hectic for school. So I roll out of work into hectic school because I got a lot of classes on Monday and Tuesday. Well, really, it's Monday and Wednesday is a lot. I only have a little bit on Tuesday, but it's still hectic because there's always stuff that needs to be done, and I need to get shit done. So I have to get those done in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I have to get all that shit done, or it's not going to happen again because I have this show, and like I say, my schedule is kind of set. So, like I say, I didn't even know it was my birthday, so it is what it is, however you want to think about that. But I think that the reason why I was feeling down this past week, part of it is probably that. And I was coming to my birthday and not even realizing it. I'm single right now. And then, like, I didn't have really nothing to look forward to, I guess, other than like doing my show in the next class or whatever. And maybe, like, in my subconscious mind, I had kind of got a little bit down about, you know, getting older and not accomplishing the goals and not being where I feel like I should be at this age, you know. So, anyways, with that said, I'm gonna say that I've just been feeling really down. I've been feeling down. Uh, and my health. I've been worried about my health too, because as I get older, I'm concerned with my health, and I haven't been feeling the best some days, and I'm really concerned about that. So I think subconsciously, that's one of the things that's been bothering me. But man, I've been wanting to rant and rave, man. I've been going in on Instagram. I don't know, you guys probably don't follow me. It's like my YouTube crowd is totally different from my Instagram crowd, but I've been ranting and raving on Instagram all week, and I think, like I say, man, like, and for today, I'm gonna try my best to play little to no videos. That's the plan for today. And the reason for that is, like I say, I'm kind of like, I feel like I'm being soft with my channel. Like, I'm angry, bro. Like, I'm upset. Like, yesterday, I did a great show. After I couldn't get no answers out of Curtis, I think I had a great show, and it was informative with a lot of information and passionate, and you know, connecting the dots around the world. But the video got like 3 fucking views, bro. Like that's like the lowest performance I've had since I started my fucking channel. And it hurts. I ain't gonna lie, it hurts. I'm not doing this for views. I just want people to get the information. I want people to grow. I want people to learn. I want to help them, you know? And just how I feel right now, I feel like I'm not reaching people, you know? So I want to figure out a new way to kind of attack to get at them. And I also want to like, you know, like I say, I want to stop being so soft on the truth. I want to be so soft, stop being so soft on what I'm saying. And from now on the channel, I'm gonna try to be. I'm not try to be, but I'm gonna not hold back as much as I have been up to this point, because afraid to offend people, to get people upset, afraid to say the wrong thing. Because I lost a couple of followers on Twitch. I lost like 2 followers on Twitch, and I'm sure it was about something I said that was probably political. But I can't really worry about those things. But at the same time, it makes me sad that I lost 2 followers on Twitch, and I've been holding back this whole time. So damn, it's like it's you win for you lose. You can't lose for winning. You can't win for losing. So fuck it. That's how I feel. You know, I'm gonna say the raw truth, you know, about everyone, you know, and I don't want to appear that I'm supporting someone that I'm not, or that I like someone that I don't. So I'm gonna try to make sure that I do that from now on too. Whenever I mention certain, if they're like a big name, if they're a name that influences people, then I'm gonna let them know how I feel about them, as far as like, you know, do I like really kind of follow them, or do I not? Do I like them? But the way I'm gonna say it is I like them or I don't like them. And you could take that for however you want. So, but I want to make sure that the audience knows who I'm feeling and who I'm not, so that whenever I mention names, that you don't be like, oh, he's a Trump supporter or something, because you know I'm definitely not that. Even though at the same time, like I say, I focus on truth. So when if Trump tells the truth, I'm going to support those words. And that's another thing that bothers me about society today, is that it's everyone seems like they're so worried about where the words are coming from. Like that's not how I think at all. I'm sorry. You know, I'm listening to the words. I don't give a damn who it's coming from. I feel like God can speak to you through anything and anyone. God can speak to you through a person. God can speak to you through a tree. God can speak to you through a sunbeam. If you have the eyes to see, if you're open and you're aware and you're ready to take in this message, it's about the message. It's not about the person. Anyways, what's up? How you feeling?
What's up, man?
Yeah, man. I don't know, bro. Like I really have been feeling some kind of way, as far as like I've been angry, man. I really have. That's part of the reason why I do this channel, you know, to vent, to get it off. But even though I've been doing the channel, it helped me at the beginning. But now I feel like I'm back to where I was. So I feel like I need to change what I'm doing on the channel, because I'm back to where I was, back to that frustration point. You get what I'm saying? I'm not feeling like I'm getting it out, you know? So I think I need to be more raw and more true here on this channel. So hopefully I'll feel better. That's my plan, anyways. Because the whole point of doing this shit is to fucking, you know, feel better. You know, I want to help people, and I feel like helping people makes me feel better. But if I feel like I'm not helping anyone, then that's not helping me either. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, and I totally get that, and cause I've been listening for a few minutes, and like especially that whole. A lot of people get me confused as being a Trump supporter. Like that was like one of my biggest problems. Like, dude, you really don't get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a Trump supporter. Like, for one, I'm a supporter of truth, and then in the when we have to pretty much decide out of the two of the evils. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It kind of leaves us in a between a rock and a hard place because you know shit, I'm a black person in America. I mean, I'm definitely influenced by liberalism, but at the same time, when they have gone too far, they just gone too far. Period. So I mean, I'm not opposed to really going against anybody because I mean, I mean, I look at people being ignorant. Like I really think of people as being really just not on par if you one or the other. You know what I'm saying? If you either you for right or you for wrong, you that is just pretty much like, of course you want to be right, but nobody's right all the time. So
Well, the big ones are getting paid for one or the other, but I get what you're saying. I completely agree. If you're a regular person and you align yourself with one or the other, then yes, they got you.
yeah, oh yeah,
They
you
they got you.
and I find myself more and more finding that out about people that I love so dearly that I thought was rebels and was, you know, like damn, they got you too.
And that's how it is. Like they get us all emotionally involved in these people because it's characters, right? That's what it is. Like we forget about the agenda. It's all about the person. Like we liked Obama and he spoke well and his speeches were awesome. And what he's actually talking about or what he's trying to do, that gets lost. We don't care about that no more. We just fall in love with this guy. You get what I'm saying? Him as a person, his character.
Hmm.
And we don't care what the
And you,
policies are.
well, and that's so troubling, man. Like, I watched something earlier. It was actually an older clip of when Ti and was that was his Killer Mike and Candace Owens, like they all was in that, like,
The
what do they?
photo.
No, this was like a thing on stage. Like it was a couple of different people, but those were the main people that was on stage. I think Puff Daddy threw it, and like it was this whole thing that they try to really, because I think because of some of the stances that Candace Owens has, you know, people take her as some kind of you know fruitcake, some nut that just is just whatever Trump says. But like if you get past the emotionalism, if you don't get caught up in your feelings because you know somebody who most likely, it happens with pretty much everybody with all these different sound bites, because I actually was one of those, like after that Charlottesville thing, I actually saw the video. I know exactly what she's saying. She's totally right. Like he did denounce white supremacy and all these different things and what he meant with what the sound bites that they made for the news, but everybody gets caught up on that little bitty piece that they did hear that sounded bad instead of putting everything in the context of what he said throughout that whole speech. You get sucked in, and now anything anybody else says about it, you just like, oh no, I know what I heard. Like, yeah, I mean, I know what you heard too, because I saw what you saw, plus I saw what you know other
and
people.
and and that touches on what I'm trying to do here because I really want people to go beyond the damn soundbite, bruh. Like spend a few more moments. Like I think that people feel like they don't have enough time, right? That's the main thing. Like I'm busy, I got to go to work, and that's true. But how much time do you spend scrolling TikTok or Facebook or whatever? Spend that time looking up some shit that you was curious about earlier in the day or yesterday or last week. Something that caught your eye, and you was like, damn, what the fuck or whatever, and you only got a soundbite of it. Go fucking type it in and go fucking look it up, bro.
Man, look, we in the fourth quarter. Like, it's really a shame that we're coming to a in our lives where, especially for black people, you know, not even going to get on the other thing, but just as people that's in our situation, the unique situation that we're in, that we're still allowing those. those certain things to still affect us. It's like we haven't gotten a thick enough skin to be like, you don't let certain things trigger you. You know what I'm saying? You move past, all right, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like you need to be able to keep up with what's actually going on now, and instead of trying to,
That's why I'm
you know,
so frustrated, man, because I feel like it's zombie robots and everybody talking about being triggered. And then not that long ago, that was a all cool thing, like, oh, I'm triggered. But hey, if somebody triggered you, that means they got control. That moment, they got control of you. And like I
yeah,
say, it's like a remote control. It's like if you had a remote control connected to your back and a PlayStation controller, and somebody walked up and started pressing the buttons, and then you start moving, you start reacting. It's like it's totally like that. And what kills me is like, I was talking about in the other video, and you wasn't on. You left comments on about the brainwashing, and like everyone feels like they're not brainwashed, or they never been brainwashed, or they couldn't get brainwashed, or whatever. And
no,
it's
yeah,
like that's what's killing me. Like, okay, bro. And then it's like where you say, I know already, I know. No, you don't, bro. You clearly don't know. The reason why I know you don't know is because you're saying you know. Because if you knew, you wouldn't be saying I know, because it's too much fucking information.
yeah. I I mean, there's so many different things. Like, I mean, that we're gonna look back on, like in the next year, the next 5 years, when we look at back at, because that's usually when a lot of us
Hindsight
realize,
is the best
yeah,
sight.
yeah, that's when most of us realize, damn, I screwed up, or I can't believe I believed what I believed, or I can't believe I did what I did.
That they
But
manipulated me, and you're gonna be angry. And then what the worst part about that is that, and this is what I wanted to kind of focus on for this video, is like kind of like self accountability, right? Know thyself, kind of like being true to yourself, not lying to yourself. As
yeah,
far as once you see that it was something that you was wrong about, instead of doubling down and keeping going with it to save face, go ahead and accept that and move on. You know what I'm saying? But I think that our society doesn't reward you for doing that. I think our society rewards you for doubling down. It's like, oh, you're an idiot. Oh, you're a dumbass. Oh, you made a mistake, and then like draw huge attention to it. Hey, you guys, come look at this. This guy, he's admitting that he fucked up.
well, I mean, it's past time to be looking for a damn cookie after all these different things. Like if we're not going for, because I mean, like one of the things that I guess I can't, like I try to be patient about, but if we're not really careful, there's gonna, like, a lot of people look at the whole slavery thing like, okay, like this is just like crazy that people
And,
going into,
and then I know where you're going. It could never happen to me. I would never do that. If I was alive during slavery time, no way in hell they would have made me a slave.
yeah, and I think a lot of people have it, the idea of what slavery, what it actually was, because we've looked at movies that portrayed a certain idea about slavery, and oh, people getting whooped, people getting beat, and this, that, and the other. Like, yes, those things may have happened in certain situations, but
That wasn't
because
the norm necessarily. Yeah,
no, no, that wasn't the actual way, that wasn't, yeah, that wasn't the everyday thing for
yeah,
the slave. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
a lot of people right now today may be experiencing a certain, you know, part of slavery that they feel it,
But they're not really
but
aware. They because they looking for this whipped chains running to escape the plantation type shit. So
yeah,
that because the media has put this romanticized type of idea about slavery in our mind, and that's what we think what slavery looks like. But when it happens to us, we're not even going to know. It could be already happening to us right now, and we're not aware of it because
It's
we.
it's ha- it's happening. Like there's people already in that situation. Like I mean, somebody who works for the post office could be suffering a form of slavery based on how they're being used. Like just because you're getting $20 or $30 an hour does not mean, because I mean, everything is relative, based on your situation. Like if you can't find yourself growing to a certain extent, you are suffering some, even if it's just mental slavery. Slavery to me is slavery. Like I don't care if it's physical, mental, emotional. Like this, I mean, I'm there's different versions, like steps to it. Hearing some feedback.
Yeah, that's Kinsey. Can you turn it down some, please? Kinsey. Thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I mean, I think a lot of people getting it wrong, because I mean, if the worst kind is the mental slavery, because you don't even realize how you're being manipulated. Like the political slavery, like people are, you know, politically, that's still mentally, like they're being taken, like no matter what people tell you. Like I have a friend of mine, I'm not gonna say his name, but it really disappoints me that no matter what happens, like even throughout this whole vax thing, he like hooraying, like this is a army vet, somebody who's fought for this land, this idea of what America is, and it's just like, oh yeah, take more of their freedoms. If they don't want to go get the shot, then they, like yeah, they gonna come through and start making them have to do this and make them have to do that and blah blah blah. And it's like, damn, bro, it's like
Where is all this
you
coming from? Where is
you
all this?
can't, yeah, you can't really see, people really forgetting what, like you claim on one hand, like you'll never want to be like what China is, but you are doing the exact same thing that leads people there. You know what I'm saying? Like you're like saying, like, I want to strip my neighbor of his rights to choose. Like he's looking at a person as if they're just stupid because they don't see it this, you don't see it the same way that they do. Like to me, we're totally like we just no balance anymore. It's just one way, like we're all extremists to some extent. Everybody's looking at each other as if they're the enemy almost, because this friend, for whatever reason, recently has been calling me with a different tone. Like, you know, that's my homeboy. Me and him used to, chill. Like, he's older than I am. He's probably about 8 years older than I am. But, we've been cool ever since, like, I was, like, damn high school. Like, you know what I'm saying? He came back from, what was it, Desert Storm. And, we were just cool. And, we lined up for a long time, but like it just recently, when I'm more so like, well, I don't really appreciate the way, our government has been treating us, because it's not just Democrat, it's also the Republicans to a certain, like it's, sometimes it's kind of like I lean towards, more of the liberalized side, but I think I'm more of a conservative. Like I'm not one of those people who's just willing to give up every little thing, or I'm just gonna run with some idea because everybody else is on that. So I'm a conservative person, so maybe I am more of the Republican than I am liberal, but at the same time I have a heart, and I know, like, most of my family doesn't have you know, pockets like I got. And I'm not rich, but if I'm in the situation I'm in, and everybody's, most people is, not in the same position I'm in, that's kind of a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, so some of these liberal ideas benefit them more, even though I still think it's crazy. Like, I think people should have more angst. I think people should, find a way for the, like, you shouldn't be trying to go hang out at the club. Like, if you struggling and you thinking about, okay, yeah, everybody should have a good time at some point, but when that your repetitive thing to get your mind off of your failures, that's when I see it as a problem.
And I swear, man, that's the point, and that's what I've been trying to say, and that's what I wanted to talk about today. Because, as far as like, because like I say, I did this awesome show yesterday, got 3 views, and it's heavy and dry, and it's hard. Like you have to pay attention, right? You have to put forth the effort to listen to actually get some kind of benefit from it. And I think that's what the issue is. The issue is that society, a huge part of society, they don't value knowledge. They don't really value work. They feel like you're dumb for putting in that effort. You know what I'm saying? They're like, because there's got to be another way to do this easy way or whatever. You're working too hard. You're dumb. I'm smarter than you because I'm doing less. You get what I'm saying? As far as like trying to learn or getting educated or putting in effort into whatever I do. But see, the issue with this is that, again, it goes back to what I was saying about the brainwashing. The corporations want you to think this way. They want you to think this way because that benefits them. Because now when you need something, you just go to them, and then you have this individual. Because that's what the name of this is: the illusion of individuality, the illusion of individuality and lost perspective. So it's like you think that you can just do it on your own, like, and then you think that those people that you see that have made it, they did it completely on their own. So that's the same reason why they have this attitude where they can stab everybody in the back that's around them and not really try to do anything to help them or be good around the people, because it doesn't matter, because they feel like, if I make it, I'm gonna make it, and they're gonna have nothing to do with the people around me. But that's an illusion, because every
Yeah.
single person that has made it had help. They all had help. Elon Musk,
Yeah.
uh, Bill Gates, all of them, whatever name you want to name. None of them did it completely on their own. You have to
No.
have, and not only did they need to have help, they also needed to have certain like platforms. They needed to have like a base to stand on. They needed to have avenues to be able to use. So it had to be a whole bunch of things already set up and in place for them to use. There had to be a network of people that they could use, and they also had to be someone who gave them some kind of like resources to begin. You know what I'm saying? And we have this an illusion because they sell us that shit that, oh, you're an individual. You did, if you're gonna, they're like, when somebody is successful, they're like, look at this person, he did it. Well, how come you couldn't do it? Well, first off, I'm sure his circumstances was very different than mine.
Hmm.
his opportunities was very different than mine.
Well, I mean, you can think about it even from the standpoint, like, let's just like go back to slavery. A lot of the greatest ideas that we have or use day to day was created by a slave, but because of their position, first of all, not understanding that there is a patent office
Right,
to go,
intellectual property. People
yeah,
still don't, to this
the,
day, don't know nothing about intellectual property. Go ahead.
yeah, and then being able to, you know, be able to get the, somebody to trust in it enough to invest or to be able to get it. But like the intellectual property, that's like the biggest part of it, being able to own what your ideas. But you know who's gonna sell this thing? Like the media, like who's gonna come listen to a slave about
Right,
some new product that's
right.
on the market? So you know the cotton gin, like I mean, first of all, like, if you're not
It,
smart enough to realize that the people who are actually in the
they was
in the
fucking their
trenches.
hands up, and it was hard as work. So they was like, we got to make this shit better,
Yeah,
dog.
I
These
think.
white folks, Well, let's fucking improve this shit. Yes, niggas came up with that shit so they won't be busting their ass out there so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, at the same time, they're taking themselves out of work. Like that's like, the gift and the curse is
yeah, it
that,
really made things worse because they
yeah,
just ramped up production as a result of that. But go ahead. And then the United States became more powerful. The cotton gin, that is a very important like aspect in the history of the United States. And if anybody
yeah,
doesn't know about it, they need to look it up because it also had a lot to do with the wealth of the United States because we blew up. We was cotton king. Everybody in the world was getting cotton from us. They all the clothes, all any production that needed cotton came from the United States. Like I think we had like 85-90% of the global market, and it was
yeah,
a result of the cotton gin because we was able to produce so much so quickly and get it out to the people.
yeah.
Yep.
I mean, but like, just like I said, I mean, because I lost my main point, but however, it'll come back to me. But you know, we gotta get off this whole thing that you know what no wait a minute, hold on. It was because I'm like even thinking about like just like technology, like the state in which we're in now. Because like I said, I mean, there were black people that created the internet. There were, that at least came with that whole idea. And, we're still giving away stuff today that, if we started coming together, because I think I was feeding off of your energy on the whole individualism thing, is that, you know, because it's not really about black and white, but at the same time, like, we're people who do have ideas. We are too busy trying to, you know be, be with the Joneses or follow, what everybody else is doing, to where, our great ideas, we sweep it under the rug as if they're nothing, and we don't really take part of what being a citizen of the world really is. It's just, there's so many things, man. Like, I got so many different frustrations because, like, I feel like I'm alone a lot of times. You know, I
Hallelujah.
just, it's really crazy, and I mean, really, I am. I'm in this truck,
Really, I
and
am. Really, I am. And
you
it's
know,
something that you can't really escape because it's not just the truck, bro. It's because who can you talk to? Who's out there? You know what I'm saying? We in a land full of zombie robots, bro. It's like they're all brainwashed, and if you try to, they get triggered, and then Mr. Smith jumps in. But what I wanted to talk about was the perspective, right? Because what I think people forget about when they think about individuality, they forget about perspective, and it's important to really try to get the understand perspective because, like, okay, so like let's say you're on the savannah, right? This is early man, we're on the savannah, let's say, and fucking there's animals and shit out here, but whatever, we're chilling, we're eating some strawberries or whatever the hell, right? You have your two eyes that you have in front of you, and
mhm,
you can see a really good wide span, and I bet you their peripheral was better than ours because we've gotten lazy with that. But we have a great peripheral. Ours is better
mhm.
than a lot of animals. We do have binocular vision, but we have this peripheral that's pretty damn good. So like motion, we can see motion really good out our peripheral. So, but we only have a certain amount of landscape, right? That we can see out of these binocular eyes that we have, right? So, like the thing is, sometimes there might be a lion, a tiger, or a fucking bear coming up behind you while you're eating your strawberries, right? So, but the thing is, us as humans, as a community, as mammals, right? Most likely, there's gonna be another human somewhere close to you that has a different vantage point from you. They have a different perspective. They're facing you, maybe. They can see the freaking lion coming up behind you, and they're like, bruh, it's a fucking lion coming, bruh.
Like,
Hey,
you better turn around. Like, you better watch. You need to be watching something other than me, because there's something in closer danger to you than me. It could be a bear over there, but there's a tiger back over here. and you're within this range of, like, not just peripheral, they're like focused on you. You know what I'm saying? So, you looking out in the sunset, oh wow, the sun is beautiful. Look at the clouds. Oh my God.
Exactly.
Look, damn, it looks like a horse in the clouds. Oh wow.
Exactly.
And then, you know what I'm saying, before you know it, your ass getting ate up by the damn tiger that's been watching you from a whole nother point of view that you're not even paying attention to. Like, you had no idea that they are, like, actually focused on killing you right now.
Why you thinking about the horse that's in the clouds?
Oh my God, the stars look so beautiful when
and
the
and and
moon
that's
is.
scary as fuck. So that goes back to what I was saying about individualism, because the lions, tigers, and bears haven't gone away.
No,
And
there
the
might
thing,
there might
yeah,
be a new animal that has been that's a hybrid that's coming through, that's actually.
some new age shit. and
Yeah.
and so that's the thing. That's my point of going back to individualism and people thinking that they can be successful on their own. We're mammals and we work as groups. That's how it works. We're herd animals. So if we was walking through the forest by ourselves that day, guess what? And we looking at the clouds, and guess what? Pat wasn't there to say, Chaka, stop looking at the clouds, bro. It's a big ass anaconda about to jump out that tree. It's coming out the
Hmm.
tree on your ass. It's an
Yeah.
anaconda in the tree. It's about to come down on your ass, Chaka. Move around,
Yeah.
bro, before that anaconda fall out the tree on your ass.
Yeah.
And guess what? Pat wasn't there that day. I was by myself in the forest. I was all on some individual shit. I'm gonna be a success by myself. Guess what? The fucking snake had a good meal that day. Guess what? Ain't nobody know what heard of Chaka no more. Don't even know what happened to that nigga. He missing.
Gone. He gone. And that's a situation that a lot of us people are in, us as individuals, because, like, they've our political system, and that's both, you know Republicans and Democrats, has gotten us to a point where, and I think more so on the liberal side, that, yeah, you got your family, you this, that, and the other, but that's them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's easy for you to just say that's them, but God didn't create us to. The universe did not create us to be just by ourselves. Like lions, like, a lot of the animals get it. All the squirrels is like, you might see one squirrel at a time, but a lot of them know, like, all right, well, I'm going over here. I found this nut tree over here. I'm gonna go gather over here, and we're gonna come back and put all our nuts here so we can be prepared for the damn winter. But us as humans, like, we've gotten away from that because we were better at stuff like that than we are now,
Yeah,
especially, with just the way, you know we've been programmed. I mean,
yeah,
none of us can say that we haven't been programmed. Like,
exactly.
I find myself disappointed in myself that, damn, like, I'm a part of the problem too, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? But at the same time, when, you really, get into it, and you start trying to, trying to sound the alarm, you trying to wake people, you shaking people, like, like, some people you can tap, hey, all right, come on, it's time to go. Some people is like, okay, yeah, I'm with you. And there's others just like, oh man,
Nah,
come,
man.
come,
Fuck. I
yeah,
ain't worried
come,
about.
like,
You don't know what you talking about. It ain't no
I ain't
line.
got
It ain't
I
no.
ain't got I ain't got to be at work until
Yeah, there
fucking
ain't no
this
anaconda. There
evening.
ain't no. You don't know what you talk about, nigga. There ain't no
And you
anaconda.
compare, and we'll
You
laugh,
crazy.
and like, like I was talking about my buddy earlier. Like, he
Talking about you
laughs at me.
stupid.
He laughs at me about certain things. I'm just a conspiracy theorist. I'm like, dude. I mean, conspiracies happen all the time. Some of them are theories, but some of them are also facts.
Yeah,
So,
right.
if you brush over all of everything that
And the
they
theory
say
can
is a.
become a fact today.
Yeah, the more digging you do, that thing that was a theory yesterday is, now proven to be a fact. Like, it's not just an idea now. This is a proven idea. So, don't act as though. because yesterday what was considered a theory. I mean, that's just like the whole out of Africa theory. Like everybody I know grew up believing that every single human originated in Africa. It's a lie. It's proven. It's been debunked over and over again. Like people, like not just one or two people had that argument. 100, maybe thousands now have had this argument
They're
that
coming
that is
around.
not
They're coming
true.
around with it. And that's what I was saying in the other video is that whenever they come out with something with science, whenever they have to retract it, they always say it quietly. And then the people don't hear it and the people still be stuck on like what is the one about the skull and the shape of the skull and then it's like that makes the person inferior or whatever, some shit like that. They was trying to justify slavery by saying that black people had like a curve in their skull or something. This was science at the time. And the thing is though, it's still people right now today that still kind of believe that shit because at the time that was official as accepted as science.
Well, and probably, people who will believe that more is the people that it was designed to, you
Right,
know,
right. Right. I completely agree with that. And that's another aspect that we have to understand about brainwashing though, because that works for all of us. That works for all of us, all of us, all of us. Man, that's
yeah,
when you
I'm
talk
not
about the
supposed I'm
liberals.
I'm not supposed to be smart. So I mean, why am I trying so hard? And some people actually get into that
Right,
mindset, like,
right.
like
I'm
look,
so
if it's
especially
not
if
for
they
the
super
people on the news,
religious.
if it's not for the people on the news, like I'm not really supposed to know any better
Right,
than what they tell me.
right,
And I'm
right.
like, no,
Why are you thinking like that? That's it, brainwash. That has to be where is that coming from? Where do those words come? That's Mr. Smith coming out of you. Because where are those words coming from? Are those really your words? And then we hear the same. This is what kills me. I ask people questions because I do this all the time. And I ask people specific ass questions and I get the same answer from all these different people. And it doesn't even matter what race, how old they are, if their gender. I'm getting the exact same answer from all these people and like, that's what I be saying. Like everyone want to say that you're not brainwashed, but and then like you we all answer in the same way. Like you said, I don't want to learn. Where would that come from? You know? Where would that come from to have the attitude that, not learning is good, Being
well,
ignorant is good,
well,
you know.
but look, I'm gonna tell you one of the things that I think was very detrimental for us as a people is the whole idea that there's too, not enough Indians and too many chiefs.
Right.
Like that whole idea that like the people who were supposed to be the chiefs are sitting around, like there still needs to be multiple chiefs. Yeah, there's gonna be more Indians than there are chiefs, but we still need people that's gonna be chiefs. So the people that's supposed to be chiefs are thinking, well, maybe I'm just supposed to be an Indian. You know what I'm saying? I'm supposed to just follow and just do what the chiefs that I've ordained in my life
And
to be
that's not
chiefs.
even right because I did a lot of studying on Native Americans and the way that their society was set up, it wasn't like that. It wasn't really like that. Like the Europeans are the ones that came up with kind of like this chiefs type of thing. Like the chief was the guy who was like he settled disputes in the in that little wherever area. He wasn't the boss. The way
No,
things worked, they had everybody talked. They had
well, well,
communions or
this was this
whatever,
was well, this was a community of
including
people. Look,
the men and the women. They all made decisions together, like as a group.
look,
Each family was different. Each family had their little household, but as the community, they made decisions as a group. It wasn't no chief that
look,
was like, "Oh, everything's gonna go like this," and that's what it is.
look.
No, that is not how it worked.
I have a good example of this very thing because I worked for when I first started out. The very first company I worked for when I got into trucking was a Mexican company down in South Houston, the actual town South Houston, not just south of Houston, but the town of South Houston. They there was a Mexican family. Now, the youngest son ended up being the boss, the manager. or whatever. The reason why was because he had learned English better than everybody else. So because he had the ability to communicate with others, that the other family, not that the family was dumber, like mom and dad definitely had more, like they understood the business better. They had been running it already for many years, which it was extended to the United States. It still exists in Mexico, but they were here in America. But because the youngest one had fought the barrier of being able to communicate, is why now he's the manager. He's the one who is running things here in America, is just mainly because of being able to communicate better
Right.
with who they're trying to do business with. So
Right.
that's like one angle. That's just like, let's just say like my mom would, you know, like certain things like dealing with, bill, not bill collectors, but like, there's new rates for phone company. It's like, all right, hey, Patrick, look, go ahead, you go ahead and call such and such, and get the cheaper bill. Go ahead and call and get the cheaper bill, because she knew I could handle certain things with that. When I was a teenager, you know, my older brothers may not have been, really up on trying to do stuff like that. So she knew I could handle stuff like that. So it's like, all right, you handle such and such or whatever. So we got to kind of really look at who's the best for the job. So that's how chiefs come about. A lot of these chiefs is not like they run the whole show. You know what I'm saying? Maybe this guy was more of a warrior, or like I said,
And
had a
these
better way of
and these
communicating.
damn Europeans are so fucking ignorant, and history is told from their damn ignorant ass fucking perspective. And then they come over here and they think they, because the way because they like to do the way they structure their society, and they like to transpose that up on other societies, and then that's how they dissect that society. Like that's how they understand what's happening, because they have this type of hierarchy thing that they like to do, and they think that everyone else does that. And then when they came over here, they thought that the natives did that, but we
No,
didn't.
no, and my idea of all of that, I think, was just different. That was something that they were able to use to try to combat what we were doing, because we've always been a civil people, but because of what they come there trying to do, we were the seem to like could be projected as the uncivilized. Like, no, you encroaching on my land. No, I'm ready to whoop some ass, because what I'm saying, this is not what we do here. What I'm
Right.
saying, when you try to come here with a new idea and we ready to smack some ass around, because it's not gonna just you're not about to just come here and act this way. So there's two sides of the coin. You know what I'm saying? The nickel spins the same way, but
They love
there's
to call them savages. It's so savages, and it even still says that in a lot of the
and,
texts.
yeah, and
And
we
that's
was washing that ass up. We was whooping that ass because they coming over here trying to, like, they were never supposed to come past the mountains over
even even
they
in
would.
their books, like even in the history, like the way the early deal, they made deals, but they kept on breaking them. And
and,
yeah,
and
that
I'm
was
not
one of them.
and I'm not talking about just white Europeans. Like, there were black Europeans that came here too, from Europe, throughout the whole
It
thing.
was
Like,
supposed to
they
be
were,
all
you know
natives on the other side of the, like, in the plains, right? How does it go? It's the Appalachians. It was the
the
plains,
apple
because that's what,
yeah,
because they was like, we want, this is sacred land. It was sacred land. It's been sacred land for 2,000 years, bro. No,
yeah,
no,
they were
two
not
hundred
supposed to
thousand years.
they were not supposed to be on come to the west side of the Appalachian Mountains. That was never the intention. And of course, through maybe different marriages, maybe like some people kept exploring and this, that, and the other. Might have. I don't know if they had issues like what actually caused them actually coming over in multitude, but those 13 colonies, they were supposed to be, that was the land that the king and queen had purchased from the Moroccan Empire. That's what, and that was supposed to be, okay, this is your land. Like, I don't know if people have ever looked at the old maps. Florida, like, because out down into Georgia, because there was parts that even in those states that are colonies that they could go to and was supposed to cross, but Florida, Louisiana, up to Missouri, uh, Illinois, a lot of those, like what we consider like the Midwest, and all the way over to like Utah, or maybe even up to over to Washington State before you're getting into Oregon and down into certain parts of California, or what parts of what we call California now, and back around to Texas was was one government.
Mm-hmm.
That was the Washita. Like that was the main.
Civilized tribe. And
Yeah,
I know that like the California area, the hills or whatever, super sacred, super sacred, really old, super sacred as fucking shit over there.
yes.
So, but we kind of got off track. But it was like we was talking about perspective, right? So the thing was how they came over here and they thought that they understood like how the land ownership stuff and kind of like what we was talking about the gardening, and they thought that they didn't have no agriculture because they didn't understand how they did agriculture. You know what I'm saying over here? So
Well, because they did it in Europe, but it's different. Like the seasons, like when to, like you kind of have to study like the almanac to be able to see the differences in how people will grow, because the way that they grow in Europe will be different than how they grow over here in America, just based on the geographical differences. So they didn't really understand, and it might have been different plants that they were used to in Europe that we grew here that they just didn't
yeah, but
understand.
mostly though, I feel like it's that monocrop shit that they still do to this day. That's what they do. They do that a whole lot of one crop. You know, that's not how we did it, and they still, like I say, they still do it to this day, and it's not good for the soil and so forth and so on. And that's what they understand a garden to be is a rows of uh I don't know, collard greens, and then the rows of peas. My grandpa and them, that's how they grew. And they had, and it would be rows of whatever, something else. You know what I'm saying?
Okra and
You could distinctly
corn.
see it. You could distinctly see them.
Mhm.
But that's not how the natives grow there. They grew in like bunches, and it would be different. Multiple different
Things at one
vegetables
time.
growing
Yeah.
at the same, in the same little area. So it would look like a mess to the Europeans, but there was a reason why they grew that
It
way.
was a sci. It was a science.
Yeah,
That's like the
they
whole,
and we lost
like
all
people
that
people don't
knowledge.
realize that
We
more
lost it.
like what we, a lot of, what we consider Moorish science, like the
We
whole,
lost it, and then it's
yeah.
like the medicines, because I was reading about, because even here in Texas there's like there's a wild flower that grows, and it's just a regular as, like, we would call it a weed. We would cut it and pull it or whatever. It's a
Hmm.
regular as flower, and it has some kind of whole bunch of
Medicinal.
medicinal purposes, and but we don't know how to fucking use it because we lost that knowledge.
Yeah.
We'd have to go find, a Native American, someone whose their parents have taught them that they know, because that's what's so crazy. Because we always be talking about herbs and shit and the spices and so forth, because historically that was such a big thing, but they grow wildly because that's how you originally think about all the main spices. they all grow kind of wild. That's how we found them in the first place, right? And a
Hmm.
lot of the medicines too. Um, Somebody discovered that you can use this particular the nectar from this flower, or maybe you can
The
ground up the
roots.
roots,
Hmm.
or whatever it is, whatever the
Hmm.
case may be. Somebody discovered how to extract, a way to use it, because it also poisons, because it would be the same thing, right? Maybe that same plant, even depending on the amount of whatever, maybe instead
That
of using the roots, you use the juice that came out the leaves or
well,
something. I mean,
that's like when like even still when I was growing up, like my I'm from the deep country in Louisiana. Like if you had like a bee sting or something like that, it was like okay, no, they take some tobacco. Like at the time it might have been like from a cigarette. They'll let it get they'll spit on it, let it kind of activates or whatever, and they'll put it on the sting, and for whatever reason it draws it out and it heals fast or whatever. So like there's a lot of different things that they did that may have looked like what some people might have considered voodoo or some kind of
yeah,
crazy stuff, but this was like
natural herbal medicine, and that's not respected to this day. And it's like, but like just random stuff. I remember honeysuckle. You know honeysuckle? Because
hell
that's one of the
yeah.
things. I don't think a lot of not everybody knows about these kind of things. Like, I think that's some of the Native American stuff that's left over.
you
That
you know
knowing that
something.
you can go out there and grab the flower and then pull the little thing right out the middle of that hole and kind of just lick the hole. It's a good amount of freaking, like,
You ever heard of crab apples?
yeah, crab apples.
Yeah, like I mean, like when we were kids, like especially summertime, like there would like we'd be just all over the place throughout the woods and this and that the other. We run across certain things. We shoot right then and there, like the snake berries, what they call snake berries. Like shit, we could go and grab some of those. I think most people just call them blackberries or whatever. But there was stuff would just be popped up in different places. Oh damn! Wow, look, they got some such berries. Like even as kids, like we understood and knew because you know we were taught when
We,
certain things
yeah,
when we were growing
because
up.
because we know what, because your parents will probably tell you, don't eat that. That's poison, nigga. You're gonna die if you eat that
Yeah,
shit. Don't
yeah,
eat that shit. You see it's red, don't eat that shit. It's gonna kill you.
yeah.
So
I
we
mean
only
that's
comfortable, yeah, eating certain things. We knew what to eat and what not to eat.
yeah, and like turpentine. Like there was a certain part of the sap of like the turpentine tree. Like now we know turpentine as being something to strip paint with, but like the gum, like the actual like it being mixed certain way, that was a medicine. Like that actually, drew. I don't know if you remember being, oh yeah, you got worms. Yeah, you eating so much, you must have some worms in you. And like it'll be certain things that they'll give us that's supposed to draw the worms out of our body, what we call parasites now. You know what I'm saying? Same stuff, but because they had things that they did when they
Yeah. I think
certain
some of the knowledge trickled down in that way, but I think we lost a whole lot of it. But if we go back to our grandma or somebody and ask them about like the natural remedy type stuff, some of that stuff will come out, and like probably like I say, the spices and the herbs, especially these little wild ass flowers and plants that be out the grasses,
hmm.
and we just done lost that shit. They got uses. All that shit got uses.
But you know what I think what really disrupted a lot of that was the when it's like everybody needs to go to college, which I think has been like one of the biggest things to that us as a people, no color line on that disrupted a lot of things because some of us, like I mean, we probably should have stuck with farming. A lot of us is from the country, but we were sold the idea, no, the real life, the American dream is for you to be in the city, out in the city
It's
and doing this and
that
doing that.
that goes back to the brainwashing
Yeah, and that took us away from
program.
like right now, because all of us, or for the most of us, depend on food. freaking Walmart and HEB and all these
Exactly.
different grocery stores
So
for us to be
that's
able to
my
get
point.
food. To
We
so like
depend on the corporations. So they sold us this dream that hey, you're an individual and you don't need nobody else. But the fine print was we got you. You're gonna have to pay. You got to pay for whatever the hell you need. Like, you don't have to know how to do a damn thing, but as long as you're making some money, you good. But the day you don't, because see, back in the days, right, you didn't have to be making money all the time necessarily, right? Not
dude,
everybody in the family, and then
say
like
man,
certain people could make a life without even having like a real job because they could
dude,
live.
I can only imagine like what kind of money my grandfather really made. Like during those times, like even when I was a little kid, let's say growing up in the '80s, early '80s, late '70s, or whatever. Um, what kind of money he was really making. As far as actually cash flow, but because you know there was a dairy farm, because they grew food, because they knew how to go buy the whole pig or the whole cow or
That's
half
see, that's
half.
what rich. That's rich right there, and that's what we don't understand because we don't own shit. We pay our mortgage, we pay our car note, you know what I'm saying, we pay rent or whatever.
Yeah,
we
like I
don't
mean,
own a
they
damn
actually like
thing.
they had the whole like every like my grandfather, my uncles, like everybody had their own pig pen.
That's rich.
I don't really report. I don't really do the whole pork thing no more. But just the idea
It
that
don't
okay,
matter. Somebody gonna buy it.
they had the pigs, they
Somebody
had
gonna buy it.
cows, we had chickens,
And
all
they
these things we had.
perpetuate themselves if you know what you're doing. So
Yes,
because the hardest part is starting a farm, but once a farm is going, it's kind of going. If you can manage it, it just takes a lot of work. But putting in the work, then the thing just kind of does its thing, and then just kind of the pigs make more pigs, the cows make more cows, the chickens make more chickens.
yeah. It's shit. But I mean, should I remember used to go gathering eggs, you know, um, going and taking the slop out to the pigs and throwing watermelon rinds out to the cows and this and like used to do all that stuff as a kid. And like I really kind of miss being able to do a lot of that stuff. But of course, growing up in if you want to really call Baton Rouge a city, I guess yeah, it is a city, but it's not like the big city. But a lot of that stuff, I mean, we've detached from, which was a part of our nature. And we really, what I'm saying, we don't realize how far removed we are. Well, really, we're not that far removed from it, but because we can get back into doing the
Right.
same
There's like
things.
a little film. It's kind of like the Matrix, and that's what I'm talking about. The point of all of this is like perspective, right? It's we can't see. They got us on this illusion of, like I say, the illusion of individuality, and our perspective is lost. We can't see things for we're trying to look at it as an individual. Therefore, we're only seeing a bit of the picture, and then that bit that we're getting, it's fed to us. It's filled with these images of fantasies and dreams and whatever the hell, like fake
Mm,
shit. And then but we buy it. It's sensationalizing too. That's another thing. Like the sound bites, the media, the movies, everything. It kind of sensationalizes you. It gets you all like, I'm mad now. And then you don't even know why you're mad or whatever, or what you're
yeah.
mad about. You're mad about whatever the hell they decided to make you mad about, because that's what you're mad about at this time. Next week, you're going to be mad about something else or happy about something else, whatever the trigger is that they
But
freaking triggered on your ass.
but look, I mean, and that's the whole thing. Like, getting so caught up in what media offers, because of course, we can look at the news aspect of the actual propaganda that they're feeding you. But it doesn't stop with just that. It's also the TV shows. I mean, if you go back to the different things that we actually um you know took in through the media, wasn't quite, I mean, to shoot, even then, shoot, grandma, great grandma looked at, oh, that's the devil's box. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
We should have
Like,
listened.
huh?
we should have listened to her. I watched way too much TV. I should have listened to Big Mama when because they told me that same shit too. And like,
Yeah.
you ain't gonna be able to see good. I gotta wear glasses now. I should have listened, bro. I didn't listen.
But we
I
couldn't.
watched
We
way too
had to
much TV.
bail.
Man,
Yeah,
I'm
we had to
trying to
bail.
deprogram now, and I haven't, and I don't. You know what I've grown to? And I was talking to somebody at work today because we were talking about the Kanye West album. He was playing one of the songs. And I was like, it sounds pretty cool, but I was like, I don't like what he's doing, and I also feel like, like I'm scared. So I'm not even. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna let it in. So I'm not listening to no popular music now. So I feel like I done unplugged from damn TV. I don't play the PlayStation no more now, and now I don't want to. I'm not gonna get into the popular music. I can still listen to music, but I'm trying to avoid whatever's big and new and mainstream.
Yeah, we do have to set our own boundaries because like some of the same things. When we was last week or week before last, we were talking about that the different music that we was listening to that came out, and kind of judging. Like y'all had different perspectives of the music that I guess didn't affect me the same way that it did y'all. But at the same time, I think it's very important that we do set a certain set of boundaries and parameters around what we're going to take in, allow to be placed in our in our best
Consumption,
real estate.
because
Yeah.
because I think that people don't understand that you don't just consume food. You know, you can there's visual audio consumption. There's all different kinds of consumption, and you have to be aware of what you consume because it's like you watch what you eat because anybody knows that you're healthier. What you put in your body is what makes you healthy. So that's real simple, right? So but when we get sick or when we're thinking about our health or if you're trying to lose weight or whatever, we start paying attention to what we eat and we stay away
Yeah.
from certain things, and then we try to eat larger quantities of other things because we know that those are good for us. So, but then that's the thing though. So we have to remember also that like the other stuff we consume, is it good for us or is it bad for? What is it doing to us? Is it
Well,
you know?
and I think for me, like, I mean, goes down to even the little small, what we might consider small things, but I mean, I go into the truck stop. I still see people like even like African guys, different people that you think might have a better understanding of certain things, but they don't. But the whole fluoride toothpaste, you know, things that's got fluoride in it, and it's like, wait a minute, yeah, you might be getting like what you consider small amounts, but what does it do to your body? You
And
know what I'm
over
saying?
time,
Yeah, and over time, because I mean, there's a lot of people that's
and
go,
then
get,
fluoride is it's on the list as a poison, and it's like
yeah.
why would you put that doesn't really make sense. That's some really strange shit right there. The more you think about it, and then but then that's the basis of our of the American the FDA that goes to right there because other countries I don't think they have
Well,
fluoride in their toothpaste. Do they have
I
fluoride in
mean,
their
what
toothpaste? Other countries,
some may, but I think for the most part, we're probably the
I think we're
we
one of the
might be the
few.
only.
We
Yeah,
might be the only one.
we might be the only one because there's a lot of things that, like, even with the preservatives and things that they put in food, that everybody else has outlawed because of what it really is. It's a chemical. It's like damaging over time. And I was looking at a TikTok. This girl, it was this little white girl. I guess she's an American, but she had talked about visiting South America. And just right there in South America, she said like she knew that when she got back home, she was have to go on a diet, but because she had ate so much bread and like their diet, like they had like eat a lot of bread, and she just assumed that because she went crazy eating all this bread that when she get home she got to go on a diet, but she lost weight after eating stupid in South America, came back, came back to North America, and that's when she put on like she gained like 6 to 8 pounds or whatever in her first week back home. So
Because she was probably eating natural ass foods over there that didn't have all these damn preservatives and all this extra ass shit that they put
That's
in it
not
over here.
blocking it. Yeah, blocking up and clotting your blood, and like all these whatever these chemicals are actually doing to us. And you just have to kind of go like, how much does this country care about you to make it legal when the rest of the world says no, these products cannot be used in any of the food here, but it's legalized and okay for people to use in North America. Like, you really have to think about it. And you know the whole, of course, the biggest argument now is that the jab. And it's like, okay, you really trust that these people are looking out for you and really want to see you prosper. But for the last 50 years, this 100 years, that they've been doing these same practices that will kill you. Nobody cared about, how many heart attacks was happening, how many, you know, diabetics and all this and that, all this different stuff that they were going through. That didn't matter, but now we're all to believe. If the segment that do, okay, look, that's fine. You have the right to believe what it is you believe. But for those who's just not totally convinced that this is, put here to help, how can you be angry with us? You know what I'm saying? That's the whole, like, I, families are actually like, not like, there's some people that won't go see their own family members because of, you know, their stance on whichever side it might
And
be.
so look what they're doing to us. So then you have to think about that because it's so okay. I understand we're automatically tribal, and this is an emotional type of time, and then these are people really are dying. So, but at the same time, you have to ask yourself, like, are you being triggered? It seems like they're creating this left and right and this, mask unmask. It's like you have to choose a side. Like Mondays, I maybe want to wear a mask, and on Tuesdays maybe I don't. You know what I'm saying? So, so which
Well,
side am I on?
well, and that's the thing, because I mean, I find myself more so, if I wear a mask, it's because I've been asked to, or because, okay, I am around a certain amount of people. Like, if I'm going in an area, one or two people or whatever, it- you know, I'm usually not tripping. But if I know that there's like 50, 100 different people that like, okay, I'm just gonna listen to chance. I'll wear it. If they, if it's, there's certain places that
And
actually,
then you know that they're gonna ask you. So it also kind of like a way to keep from getting pestered and bothered about it too. Like, cause
yeah,
it's like I don't
well,
really care. I don't want to wear the mask. I mean, it's
yeah,
I really don't, and I always wear it all wrong and shit. I need to breathe out my nose and shit. And I hate it when they really fuck with me about pull you to pull it up over your nose, or if they say anything to me about the mask. It's so irritating to me because
and
I'm
well, and
already
that's
putting it on. I'm already
well,
wearing it.
yeah, the whole thing, that I mean, it's been proven that the mask that we're wearing is
When I
not,
yes, let's not
it's
even
not,
go there because I'm gonna get a
yeah.
heart attack.
But
Because when it
what I'm
first
saying,
started, that's what I was screaming for the longest, and then I kind of gave in, and I was like, it's there's this argument is
well,
falling on deaf ears. So
well,
I'm
for
gonna
for
just put
most
this
people,
cloth as mask on and walk around
well,
like
and to
everyone
me,
else.
one of the I guess one of the biggest problems that I guess I have with people, and what pisses me off, is that, you know real facts doesn't matter. But
Right?
because
What the
and,
fuck?
and the people that are considered to be fact checkers, because like you
I
see
was red
the
in the
in
face at trying to
independent,
screaming at people. Go ahead.
listen, but listen, they have people that has been ordained as independent fact checkers, but they they're funded by the freaking
Pharmaceutical company, probably.
pharmacy. Yeah,
Yeah,
because there's one that's on Facebook that was proven, that was funded by Johnson and Johnson.
yeah.
So it's like, okay, do we not follow the money? You know what I'm
Nobody
saying?
cares. They're like, oh,
The
this, and that's the thing. The joke. One of the funniest jokes I'm seeing, like around the memes, because they be talking about the experts, right? Because the news, they always bring on some guy and he's like, "Oh, here's Mr. John, and he's an expert on social neuroscience, DB daba." They say some words that they know most of us don't know what it is, and then the dude comes on there and he's like, "Yeah, I'm an expert. I've been doing this since for 26 years, and yeah, I'm an expert, and yeah, it's my expert opinion is, yeah."
Yeah,
And this dude is Tebow
but
from around the corner, and he don't know shit.
I have an expert opinion too. Every opinion I have expertly thought of, and I'm expressing it to whoever I'm expressing it to. It's still up to the individual to accept it or not. You know what I'm saying? But we've gotten to a point where we have given the people, like, a lot of us have turned over all of their powers to the news and to
Because it's
who
turning your
whoever
brain off. You don't have to
whoever
think.
they said.
It's
Yeah,
too hard. I'ma
whoever they said.
trust the experts. Exactly. Trust the
Yeah,
experts. Whatever they said, Rachel Maddow, whatever she said, whatever Tucker Carlson said, then I'm rolling with that. Because
yeah.
I know they're real smart people. So I'm rolling with
and,
that. I
and
ain't got
and
time.
one thing I've truly learned, I mean, I guess I've known this, but I've seen it, you know in high gear most, now, is that people actually listen to the ideas that ring true to them the most, and they will shut off those ones that they don't necessarily believe.
And
So
I think there goes the power of white supremacy, because in that's where, like, white folks, and I mean, this kind of goes both ways too, but white folks sold this dream of white supremacy, and then they just automatically be like, "Oh yeah, white people, yeah, we the only ones who built anything." Like, what, the black people ain't, they can't even form governments. Like, they definitely couldn't have. Remember the look, the pyramids, the aliens. I was watching something
oh
about
god,
that
yeah.
recently, and they was talking
Well,
about ancient aliens. It's like, it's really kind of racist. It's like,
it's
the
very
niggas,
racist.
no way them niggas built that shit. It had to be aliens.
It's very racist. But I mean, I guess one of the things that I noticed is that black people, quote unquote, black people are the ones who uphold the whole idea of white supremacy than anybody.
Right, because they believe
You,
it. That's what I'm saying. They believe it. It's like,
yeah,
nah, niggas ain't never done nothing. Niggas ain't never did shit. You know a nigga that done did something? Ain't no nigga never did nothing. And you ain't gonna never do nothing either. So go sit down. Don't even try, nigga.
man, and it's, man, that it's oh Lord, it hurts my heart, man. Like the way the way some people really see the world. Like, I mean, you're the only person that can rise somebody above you. Like, I mean, a homeless, like, there's homeless people who don't have nothing that can see themselves at a higher point than somebody who actually goes and works for fucking, the bank, or
Right,
like
because at least they
Chase
got
and
some autonomy. And it's like, we're trained to be these factory workers, these damn robots, these damn slaves. And even when, like you're saying, I think that people are not hearing you. Where what you're saying is, it doesn't matter how much you're getting paid. That doesn't determine whether or not you're a slave or not.
yeah, no,
The
I mean,
amount
these corporate individuals, like, I mean, I see it a lot of times. Like, I mean, they're like, because I'm a truck driver and they have these college degrees, and they work for such and so, that the way I think, or like, it's beneath them, but they don't realize them going to college has indoctrinated them more into a supremacy,
I ain't gonna lie. I agree with that. I think that, it's really sad though. I think that the academics, even though I go to academics, and but I believe that's true. I believe that the longer you've been into university, the more likely they got you. because like you got a master's degree, you got a PhD. By the time you
And
didn't get rid of,
the only way to use it is through their system.
yep, that's part of it. And also what they taught you was stuff they wanted you to know to
Well,
uphold their system. Like the whole philosophy of like you're gonna come around to their philosophy after reading all
yeah,
of them fucking books.
I want to take that back because it's not the only way, but that's the only way they see it beneficial is to use. Because I know people who, because I mean, I don't discredit college, going into a university if it's being used properly. Like a lot of these people, they go to college, but they still have the mindset that they're going to create something that they can live off of instead of going
Yeah,
to work
I
for
just
something that somebody
I,
else created.
I just think that you're right. Even though I'm an academic, I think that you'd have to have a really strong mind to make it through it without getting and not to discourage people from going to the universities. There's knowledge. It's knowledge there. I'm not saying don't go to university. What I'm saying is it's going to be hard to go there for long periods of time without them getting you because they're going to get you. You're going to get lost in
Well,
some kind of philosophy and get
well,
detached from the world, from
for
actual reality. You get
yeah,
lost in theory.
exactly. And for the most part, they have told you this is the way to think. Like in a lot of cases that you know you don't really look at, what I'm saying, the way you see the world has you see it that way because of the way that you were taught. That's how most of us were.
Right, that's how it
All
works. And
yeah.
and
So
and the point of the university is to make you into a zombie robot. It doesn't matter if you got a PhD.
during these days, because I don't think it was always that way. Like this, like the route to university is universe. So you're learning. You're supposed to be learning about the world, and you may have a strong focus on a certain subject, but you're supposed to learn that subject to the point to where you can take it to maybe another level instead of just being like, okay, like instead of just getting trained to work a certain job,
Right.
you can use this information to do anything.
Because
you
that's
know
what they do in the universities now is they train you. You become a professional at doing maybe one or two things. And you know a lot about that one or two things. You're an expert at that. But you don't know shit about like shit else.
yeah,
Your brain is full of all of that one topic. And and with that perspective, you can't see the whole world, the geopolitics, things that's happening. You're gonna miss it. You think you're intelligent, you are intelligent, but you don't
yeah,
understand politics because you haven't been taught that. You've been taught microbiology or whatever the hell it is. Usually it's fucking some kind of economics, right? Engineering. So you know math like a motherfucker, but you
yeah,
don't know politics. You don't
yeah.
understand people really.
That's it. That's
And
that's
you
a
and
lot of
so
different.
without being able to understand politics and without being able to understand people, then you can't really run. I don't think you could really run a company. I mean, because you need to understand other stuff other than the numbers, the economics, the engineering to be able to run a company because there's a whole bunch of other shit going on other
Yeah.
than just those numbers.
Well,
So
and a
you
lot of
hire somebody that's really good at numbers. You may not even know none of that shit. The boss, he probably don't know none of that shit. He goes and finds the best nigga to do this job, the best nigga to do that job, the best nigga to do that job. Guess
yeah,
what? All of y'all is doing my fucking work. I don't even
yeah,
know how to do none of that shit, and and my business is rolling.
yeah,
And y'all
and
just
that
graduated from Harvard, and I'm some nigga from Compton.
yeah. I mean, and that's really, because I mean, some of the people today that are the top billionaires, they didn't graduate college because they had a certain, yeah, they went to college. I don't know, maybe some of them went back and did finish or did
Yeah, most of
certain
them dropped out. I
studies.
mean, all the big names dropped out.
Yeah.
and didn't
But that's
finish.
because they had a certain type of mindset that their goal was not to work for somebody. Like they went and gathered, enough
because
information,
because
enough
the university
networking.
is a tool. Exactly, you can go there, meet people. That most of them made their business while they were in college. That's when they started their business.
Hmm. Yep. So I mean that the networking is definitely like a big plus that you can get from going to a college or university.
Exactly.
But being able to pull certain people together, because I mean another CEO mind is not going to try to go you know get the minds of other CEOs. Maybe if they're gonna, try to, work together, but they're not gonna be able to have them work for them. They'll be able to find different people who, oh yeah, this person will be good for this. Hey, I'm doing this thing. How, you want to come along and, work with me on this, that, and the other. Because most people that's going to college, they are looking for jobs. They are not looking to create jobs.
Because they don't want it to be hard. They don't want, and like I say, it's not for everybody. Everything ain't for everybody. That's a great ass quote I got from somewhere. But everything ain't for everybody, and that's a real thing. But like what you're saying is true. Like 95% of them are going to college to get a job. Like the whole point of going to college, the
And,
whole point of it is just to get a job, to work for
mhm,
someone else. And it's basically like the idea is it's not going to be hard. It's easy, right? Just get good enough grades, get, pass the tests, get your little low degree, and then go to work on Monday through Friday. And on the weekends or whatever, you can, in the nights, you
go
can do
turn up.
whatever you want to do,
Go turn up
and you
somewhere.
have good enough money to live and look better than your friends from high school. You know what I'm saying? That's you got to do better than your friends from high school. If you're doing better than them, you good, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I see that so much. Like it's almost like a competition. Like there's some people that's close to me that because like I'm the type like this. I could afford a luxury car, but and I like some of the luxury cars. But what's the most important? I'm not trying to compete with anybody else, but that seems to be the whole thing, to try to be, they're competing with the people they went to college with, the people they went to high school with, and just to show that, oh, I'm doing great. You know, I don't feel I need, like, I might be making triple, four times what some of these other ones are making,
And they
but
they spending all their money on the fucking. These car notes are crazy right now too. Like for a new car, the car
yeah,
notes are
a-
high as fuck, and they
and
make you pay for full coverage insurance and all that shit. They are not
mhm,
playing. Everyone that you see that's got like a 2021 or something, they probably playing 9, 1,000, 1,200 a month at least.
and they don't own a home. Some of them, like, not they're not even having a mortgage. Like some of them are paying rent somewhere. And like, because my biggest goal is, like, I want to set my son up to where he doesn't have to start the same place I did. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's one of my biggest
And that goes
goals.
back to what we're saying. What we're talking about is individuality, right? And perspective, because they're looking at it as an individual. I'm trying to outshine. That's all I need to do is outshine everybody. My whole thing is to outshine these. I'm finna shine these niggas on these niggas, right? I'm finna stun
Yeah.
on them. So, but then you looking at it like an individual, and you forgetting about the community. You're thinking about the community because
Hmm.
at least a little smarter the smaller your community, right? So, like
Hmm.
that's more important to you than driving that really fancy shiny ass car,
Yeah.
because that's not giving you nothing. You're not getting nothing from that. So that's the thing. That's the whole mindset
It's
that they
taken.
want.
It'll be taken away more, because I mean, I'm looking at it like this. Okay. Well, right now I don't have a car note at all. Like I said, I drive
Me neither.
a 2005 Volvo that I
I'm
love.
off.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm off from
But
car notes. I ain't had
but
one
the
in years.
well, I'm not saying that I won't ever get one again, but at the same time, if you're paying $800 for a car note and then $500 a month for insurance, you're already spending $1,200-$1,300 on a car note. I mean, or for one car, and instead of getting something that you know there's deals you can get a car for $300. Like, you still can get a car $300 a month, whatever, where you're still maybe $600-700 a month for that one car, and you still have $600 or $700 you can be investing somewhere each month. Is how I see it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could be, but I don't have a note at all. I can use that whole $1,300, $1,400 to
On
invest.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that, but they're not thinking like that because they're thinking like an individual. But they're thinking like an individual because that's what's been sold to them. That's what's been programmed into them because that benefits the corporations. Your dumbass finna go buy the brand new car, and then after you buy the brand new car, you gonna go rent a section at the club. You finna go buy a new outfit so you can look fly at the club. The full outfit. It's got to be shoes, shirt, pants, maybe a hat,
Gotta be matching. Look,
some kind of
yeah.
accessory, and
I
you
need some
finna,
gold. Yeah.
yeah,
Go ahead.
exactly. And then and now you finna go to the club, and now you finna pay to park. You finna pay for some overpriced ass drinks, and you finna pay to get in. And you know what I'm saying? You might pay for some chicks drinks or something. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna get nothing out of it. You're gonna leave out of there and be spent like $1,000.
And look, I was actually I saw a video. I'm on social media. I'd be on different things, but that's just me. Still, I'm gathering information from different places. This guy was talking about how his dad still talks about him to this day, about the decision that he made when he was 22 years old, and he's like, he had $50,000 that I think he had saved up from 18 to 22. He wanted to go buy his first house, and his dad's like, don't do it. Don't what I'm saying, that $50,000, take all of it and put it into Netflix. He said at the time Netflix was valued at $8 a share, and like to this day, like right now, it's worth 550 or close to it, $550 a share. If he had done that then, right now he would be looking at 3 point whatever million.
Mm.
And you know now he just has a mortgage payment. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really, perspective plays a big part. And he's like, of course, kind of, he was beating up on himself because it's like, yeah, like, he said his dad, to this point, he said at least once a month his dad reminds him of that that time.
Your ass could be rich, nigga. Yeah, you
You
got a
know what I'm
house
saying?
and all, but shit, you could be buying 3, 4 houses by now. But you could buy the whole block.
And that's the thing. Like, I mean, you know, I know my son will be in a different position than I was, because that's one of the things. I love my dad. I love my mom, but I think my dad was in a better position to be able to do different things than my mom was. And but he has the mindset, because he has the mindset that the child who has his own, God blesses a child that has his own. He didn't really look at it the full perspective that, yeah, I mean, a part of a child having their own is what the parents teach them to how to get. So if you really just leave it, every generation is starting from zero, and you're taking words that you might have heard from this place or that place and not put it into full perspective, you're harming your future generations with, because, like, the Bible says that you're supposed to leave something for your grandchildren. So how do you leave something for your grandchildren if you're not doing the right things for your children? Like, how is that even possible? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like a lot of contradictory. And like I said, I love my dad. My dad's a great dude. I know his heart, is actually good and pure, whatever. But at the same time, he's gotten a lot of things wrong, which I'm sure I'll get some shit wrong too. We're all human. But I think that, there's too much available to us to not take advantage of the situation, like different things that we're doing. And it doesn't matter how small you start. A lot of these things you just gotta start. You gotta, try something, because even if you only, can leave $1,000 or $10,000 or whatever for the next generation, that's something that you can leave more than what you started off with,
And that's thinking like a community instead of thinking like a damn individual.
Yeah, because I mean, you might be leaving somebody behind to that's gonna have to go steal in the next generation if they're not set up to deal with what's gonna be happening, you know, coming into the near future. You know what I'm saying?
And then it's like, what are you contributing to society? I think that people need to think about it like that. Like, are you contributing to society? And like you say, are you a part of the problem? And that's why you have to look at yourself as an individual in that aspect, and look at yourself and see your personal accountability and what are you doing to impact, the world, right?
Hmm.
Do a lot of people, I think they feel like they don't have no there's no they don't owe anything. You know what I'm saying? They feel like, I'm a human, I was born and asked to be here. And a lot of black people feel like shit, they treat us like animals, non-humans anyway, so fuck it, I'm gonna show them a non-human animal. You know what I'm saying? All day. So but I think that a lot of people don't feel like they uh have anything to contribute, or that they should contribute. And I think that that's because of the again, everybody's getting lost because the corporations are telling us that you don't have nothing to contribute. Like little kids are useless until they can start buying stuff, or well, they I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying with that, because they still use the kids drive the damn economy, because the parents be buying a bunch of shit for them. But I think what I'm trying to say is that before things were the way that they are now, everyone had, a place in the community, right? Like one part is, what do we do with old people, right? We put them in old folks' home, like lock them away and wait for them to die and shit, like put them out of sight. Um, but historically, the older people were the teachers, they were the babysitters, they were the ones who were there with the kids. They lived in the house with you. You know what I'm saying? When they got old, they moved in with their kids, and they were the babysitter, because that's a big part with our society, right? We spend a lot on daycare and so forth and so on. If we have to homeschool our kids, then we're gonna have to not work, miss money, or whatever.
Hmm.
That's another dimension of it. And it's a whole bunch of parts to this, because what I'm saying is, like, before, everybody in the house, everybody in the community kind of had they had chores, nigga. It was some shit your ass had to do. You know what I'm saying? It didn't matter how old you was. If you was big enough to start walking your ass around, you had a duty. You know what I'm saying? And they not like child work, like how the
Like child labor.
like capitalism. No, not that. It was like, go get some water from the well. You know what I'm saying? Some shit like that. Hey, that's your job, nigga. We in the mornings, go get some water from the fucking well.
Hey, and
Go
I'm gonna
go
tell
get
you.
the eggs. Go get the eggs from the chickens.
Exactly, and that was like, like I said, I lived that life during the summer where, if no matter what, I'll stay at my aunt's house for the most part. But if I went, I followed behind my uncle. My uncle Julie, may he rest in peace. But we did the chickens, we fed the hogs. Shoot, when it was time to go, get the harvest, we all took part in all that stuff,
Right.
shucking peas.
Shucking peas. I did that shit a lot. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Peeling
my uncle,
corn, or
and like my another uncle, shit, he had horses, he had ducks, he had, all these different little animals that we had to take care of. And a lot of times, like, we were getting 5-gallon buckets. I had to get two 5-gallon buckets and walk it down from, because the pond was like up close by the house, and the barn and all that stuff was further out. Shoot, me, my cousins, and all that, we all had I had 5-gallon buckets walking across the
right. And y'all
damn
was little
field,
kids,
not
right?
not a yard, a field.
Y'all was little kids, right?
Yeah, like, I mean, I
Yeah.
probably was around 8 or 9,
Yeah.
what I'm saying, some shit like that. And shoot, it wasn't no, can we do it? No, you get your ass out there and do it. it wasn't there
They
wasn't no
had my
question about
ass
it.
helping them fucking do post digging post holes. I don't know how old I was, but I know my
We've
ass
done that
shouldn't
too.
have. I shouldn't have. I know my looking back on it. I know they shouldn't have had my ass out there doing that shit. That was some heavy ass. That was heavy ass labor right there, hardcore labor.
We did it,
And
and
one
it
of them
was
lost a toe doing that shit.
they
I
lost
remember
what?
my uncle
Lost a toe.
lost a toe. Yeah,
Oh shit!
making digging post holes.
Damn. Nah, I never seen anything like that. I
I
probably
didn't
would.
see it happen. They told me the story, and
Yeah,
he showed me his foot. He's missing the damn toe.
yeah, and like at my grandfather's house, they milked the cows twice a day. We might have missed the first one because my grandfather was up at like 4 o'clock in the morning. We'll be still asleep. But when we wake up, y'all carry y'all ass up there to the barn. See see what Papa wants y'all to do. The evening, what I'm saying? And by that time, like we still had it easy. We had three wheelers, trying to, get the cows to, heading in to the barn or whatever. So, you know, but it was still something that it was just like it was fun to us. You know what I'm saying? We had a tractor. Papa wouldn't let us get on the new big one. You know, with the AC in it, but we would be on. One of us might be on the tractor. One of us would be on a. Had the full. The three wheeler or whatever. Because at that time it was a three wheeler. But it was a
I
part of
think the
life.
point, right? I think the point of it is like the reason why a lot of people feel lost is that they don't feel like they're contributing anything to society. I think that people naturally, even if they have this attitude that they've been programmed to think like, I don't have anything to provide, or I don't want to provide, or don't want to help nobody. I think everyone has it in them where they really want to, because it makes you feel some kind of way when you are, even if you're a little kid and like what you did was important, going and getting the water out the well, and that's how somebody was able to, shower or whatever the hell it was. If it was important, so it made
Yeah.
you feel like you did something, And I think that a lot of people in society, we need that. We need, because just going to a job just to make money is not fulfilling. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't give you that satisfaction.
But then
Um,
being able to help other families, because I knew my grandfather and some of my uncles or whatever, like there's like, they put together bushels of the peas or lime,
exactly.
the
Some
butter
potatoes.
beans, or whatever it
Because
is.
sometimes you couldn't eat it all anyways, or you couldn't sell it all
But,
anyways, or
but
whatever. Yeah,
but I'm just saying, maybe it was just like, a prepayment, or like to be able to, all right, their harvest isn't ready, here, take this down
because
to
I saw that a
the
lot. I
street.
saw that a lot, and who knows what it was for? Because I'm a little kid at the time too. Like I didn't know why or whatever. I couldn't imagine why, but I saw that a lot too. I saw that a whole lot. So I
Yeah.
mean, and that's community again, because if you eating good and your neighbors is starving, then you can't enjoy that food the same way. You
No,
know what I'm saying? You
it's not.
know
I mean,
that your neighbors are starving, and then and if you do that for too long, now you got to be worried about security and making fences and shit because you're not cool with your because they liable to come in and take the food now because you know
yeah, you might be a target. You could. I mean, what I'm saying,
you make
if that's the
yourself a
type,
target.
yeah, if that's the kind of person you are, to be like, f you, and I don't give a damn what your kids
Your kids
need.
starving.
Yeah, I mean, if it's like,
Yo,
damn, that's the
like
way you
my
feel about, what I'm saying, that's the way you feel about people. Oh well,
yeah,
you deserve this. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? If you could just say f everybody or whatever, regardless. I mean,
And I
everybody's
think
education,
that's what's
everybody's
happening
education.
on a global way. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I
No,
feel
no,
like
no,
that's
go
what's
ahead.
happening in a global way with these big companies and the rich folks making the big fences and living in the ducked off neighborhoods that you can't even drive through with the big, gated communities. Like, oh, these hungry niggas, we don't want the niggas gonna come in and try to take our stuff.
I ain't gonna lie. I mean, because if it really came down to it, and I knew where Bill Gates and Biden lived, and this, that, shit, them the first houses I'm gonna try to hit up.
Yeah, if it was a zombie apocalypse or something, yeah.
Shoot, I'm probably gonna come. Look, I'm gonna come over. I'm taking over. You know what I'm saying? This is my house now.
This my house now. Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, it's just like not enough care for the people. And if you can, really, be that way and not, give a shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming in. I'm a redistribute the wealth. You know what I'm saying? I'm having all my y'all come on over here. Look. You got this. You got that. Whatever. Blah blah blah. I mean, it's we really, you know, because that's the part of the socialism that I want to be a part of.
right. Because
You know what I'm
it's a
saying?
natural, it's the natural thing. Like you say, you're on a farm, your neighbors, like they didn't have a good harvest last year, and like the neighbor farm, and they kind of struggling or whatever, and you had a surplus or whatever. So boom, like even though you want to make more money this season, but your neighbor's hurting, so you're gonna give your excess to your neighbor, and then what happens next season? Guess what? They end up having a good harvest, and then
And yours get
yours is
messed up.
bad.
Because I mean, you got to think about a lot of the stuff coming up during like hurricane season. Shit, the hurricane might hit your stuff harder than all of your neighbors, and then all
Yeah,
your neighbors. Oh well, shoot. I guess he was in the wrong place, whatever, blah, blah. But I mean, it could happen to any one of you. And when you realize that, you're hoping to live a long time, most of us anyway, that, if I pay it forward, like when I need it, if I never need it, fine. But when I need it or if I need it, that I know that I've treated the people next door to me good enough that I'm not gonna have to go begging. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna have to even ask because before I can open my mouth, there's food getting stuffed in it. You know what I'm
right.
saying? That, and that's the kind of, what I'm saying, way
That's
that
how we
we
need
would.
to be as a global community. That's
Yeah,
how we need to be with each other. And so I think that this is a big thing because it's like how we stand with our neighbor, right? We should stand by our neighbor with this if these people want to get the vaccine or not get the vaccine, right? We should stand with our neighbor and not have them dividing us and fighting with each other.
yeah,
Because look, the main thing is this: if they come at what it's a quote, if they let them come at one of them, then who's to say when they're going to come at you? Because like if you let them demonize any group of the population, right, and then you're okay with it, and then they're oppressing those people or whatever they're doing to them, and
hmm,
you're okay with it because like maybe you feel like they did something wrong or whatever, but then
yeah.
now times changes. Now guess what, they turn it, now they're fucking with these other group over here, and then you're like, okay,
And
well
you just
whatever,
so
they're
happen,
fucking with,
and you just so happen to be a part of this other group. You know what I'm
and
saying?
and
You
and
may
now
not be the group now, but at some point you're gonna be a part of a group that's gonna get demonized. So now when you're trying to protect your neck and you need somebody to, stand with you, you've already
they're not gonna be there
demonized.
because they're gonna say, we remember when they came at us and you was standing over there like it was everything was all hunky-dory. So these people gonna be like, nah, fuck you, you on your own, they on your ass
Do
just
you
like they was on my
remember?
ass.
They'll be like, do you remember the time?
That's why we need to stand by, because that's that's it, man. We have to stand by whoever they come at. If they come at any group, we need to protect them and keep them,
but
like we all stand together.
and that's the thing. Like one of the biggest things to me is that this government is supposed to be we the people, and when we the people say, okay, well, screw some of these people, and you want to align with whoever, you are weakening what our values are supposed to stand for, because like that's one of the biggest things, like over money or over anything, is my values, my value system, the type of things that I give importance to. And when you allow people to take away rights that encroach your value system, then you're harming yourself, not
Right.
just the people that you aiming at right now,
Mm-hmm.
because now you don't even have those same rights that you allowed
Right.
to give away to
Right.
use when you need to protect something.
Right.
So that's the part that, like, that's the irritating part to me, is that it doesn't matter by party, because I don't even like, there's no party. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Because like the free speech, like I can not agree with Trump at all and be annoyed when he talks on Twitter or whatever platform, but I feel like he should have the right to get up there and talk his shit just like everybody else.
Yeah.
So,
And he
and
gonna
when you
be
come,
wrong, just like we gonna be wrong about something. He gonna be right about some stuff. But taking the right away from them, because it's still up to us as the receivers to accept it or not. And of course, we need to always be able to have dialogue to be able to discuss. Because I mean, just like, I mean, if I don't even consider myself an anti-vaxxer. I just, I'm a pro science, and the science is not pointing to what other people how they're viewing it, because they have their point of view. I have my point of view. They may not have had the same access to information that I feel that I have had access to, and we have opposing views. We should be able to have those conversations without demonizing or shutting people off, as if they're because I know that most of them feel valid in everything that they're saying based on the information they have. But if we're going to allow the government to shut me up, or
yeah.
for me to shut somebody else up,
So it's like the state is officially demonizing a whole group of people, you know,
segregation
and
again.
right, and then keeping them from being able to do this, that, that, and the other. And you're gonna have to walk around and show your passports and all that. Oh, I gotta take a potty break, and this is kind of funny. Check this video out.
Go ahead.
Excuse me. Gonna need to see your proof of vaccination.
Oh.
You know we got the new mandate going on.
Right, sorry. I have the app.
Oh, Moderna, huh? Heard that one knocks you on your ass. I got the Pfizer.
Oh, you're a Pfizer guy. I hear Moderna's better, but not gonna judge, you know. The new normal.
Have a good one.
Have a good one.
Vaccine passport? Yeah, but I need proof of at least 10 booster shots. 9, 10, 11. Where's the... Okay, AIDS vaccine passport. I'm gonna need to see an allergy test. Lyme disease. Chickenpox. H1N1. Rabies tag. H1N2. I'm gonna need to see some polio papers.
Seriously?
Nah, I'm just kidding about that one.
Oh.
But I will need to see a syphilis passport.
Oh, of course.
H1N3. H1N4. All right, proof of the herpes vaccine. And what about the herpes booster?
I literally got it like 10 minutes ago.
Let's see it. All right, hand, foot, and mouth disease. H1N5. H1N6. Prostate exam. Whooping cough. I'm gonna need your Netflix password. HPV.
I actually have HPV.
I need proof to show solidarity to the HPV community. I'm gonna need to see your Blockbuster card. Tetanus. Negative test for the Black Plague. Tetanus booster.
I don't have it.
I'll give it to you now. Proof of political party. Proof of diversity.
Are you serious?
We already have 2 white guys in there, okay? That's our limit.
Okay, I'm Jewish.
What do you think this is, 2021? You're gonna have to be way more oppressed than that to get in here. You got like a 23andMe test results?
Yes.
50% Ashkenazi Jew. 0.000027 Native American. Why didn't you just tell me that? You got an anti-racist card? All right, now I just got to check your white guilt score. 9.7. Wow, not bad, man. Not bad. Just got to scan you for male toxicity. Okay, quick set of questions. Would you have sex with a trans woman?
Yes.
Can men have babies?
Yes.
What are your pronouns?
He, him, they, them.
Do all lives matter?
Yeah, no.
Quote from Broad City to prove you can hang with gay people.
Yes, queen.
I'm sorry?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that's better. How many statues have you toppled this month?
9.
You support the police?
No.
Are all Trump supporters racist?
Yes.
How many abortions have you paid for?
5.
I'm gonna need to see your punch card. All right, 4 more and your 10th one's free. How many people have you canceled this month?
18, 19, including my grandmother.
Racist?
No, she still likes Louis C.K.
Ooh, even worse. Ever been Me Too'd?
No.
Me 3'd?
No.
Me 4'd?
Nope.
Me 5'd?
Nope.
Me 7'd? Me 69'd? All right, I'm gonna show you some photos of women holding power jobs. Tell me what word comes to mind.
Brave. Brave. So brave.
That's not bad. I need proof of a black friend. Okay, how many pronouns are there?
92,627.
All right, and finally, I need you to recite the full sexuality acronym.
LGBTQIAONMPZ / question mark, greater than sign, less than sign, squiggly mark, a peace sign, @ sign, hammer and sickle, poop emoji, and symbol for titanium.
All right, just put your mask on and show them your receipt.
You know, I actually lost the receipt, so...
How are we supposed to give you your laundry if you don't have the receipt? Get the fuck out of here!
This, I ain't gonna lie, I LOL on that shit for real. But you know, we're seeing signs of the possibilities. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're saying that could be 2022 or 2023 or something.
Yeah, it said 1 year later.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. That I ain't gonna lie, that's some hilarious shit. But you know, we need that kind of comedy for people to kind of wake up. You know, I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I love Dave Chappelle and the way he delivers a lot of his messages. Cat Williams, you know what I'm saying?
Man,
Eddie Griffin, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's different
the
comedians.
comedians are the only ones that can tell the truth right now. Because of the way they kill journalists.
Independent comedians.
Yeah.
People who pay their own way comedians are the ones that can because I mean a lot of them that are designated by the system, a lot of them are gonna stick to the script for the longest. Like, what's his name, Kevin Hart. He's like, just like, he wasn't gonna do nothing political. A long time ago, he don't do nothing political. That's to save face and not to have to deal with that type of stuff. Which, hey, okay, that's your thing. You rather not say anything at all than to actually try to lead people in one way or another. I respect more than you being able to be paid to talk a certain way.
Yeah.
But however, you know what I'm saying, like, we have to, hopefully there'll be some more comedians or somebody that can reach the people in a good way that allows them to really see the detriment that's looming. You know what I'm saying? Like, if there's some people that's highly indoctrinated and believe everything that comes on TV, and that's very, very dangerous.
Yeah.
If you don't know, you don't know. Don't start, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. What you munching on, man? Making me hungry.
These was some flautas. I stopped at the bar and had me a drink. Today was my birthday, or yesterday was my birthday, October 1st.
Happy birthday, man.
Yeah, I didn't even realize it was my birthday. I've been so busy. My schedule just roll.
So wait a minute, September 31st or October 1st?
October 1st.
October 1st. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know it was my birthday until I woke up this morning and my phone was like kept beeping and shit.
Yeah. So if it's the 2nd now, one of my best friend's birthday is tomorrow, the 3rd. So yeah. Okay. Yeah. Nah, I didn't know it was your birthday, but happy birthday, happy late birthday, or whatever it is at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I feel all right. So that's what I was munching on.
Oh, for the,
Heck,
for some group, I'm gonna just say happy solar return,
yeah,
or
because I don't really celebrate. Because I was saying that earlier in the video. I don't really. I don't know. I'm a weird person, but I don't really celebrate my birthday like that. All I see
yeah.
is a time has gone by. It helps me realize another year has passed. Because the new year don't help me realize that. My birthday does. I'll be like, okay, yeah, another year done passed.
That's a new year, and that's how my brother is. He Happy New Year. That's what he tells people when their birthday comes. Happy New Year. So, but
So yeah. Oh, it's 3 a.m. You good?
I'm good. I took a nap, man.
Yeah, let me play one video. I said I wasn't gonna play no videos, but this one is kind of interesting. I played it yesterday, but it's not that long for my guests that are here. That was, yeah, it's not that long. And this is the only one I'm gonna play from yesterday. So yeah, go ahead.
It is a simple tablet made of clay, incised with the script of a long extinct language. But this 3,500-year-old artifact is beyond priceless. It is a fragment of the Epic of Gilgamesh, a work of literature written more than 1,000 years before the poems of Homer. Stolen decades ago from Iraq, the tablet was formally returned on Thursday.
Returning the Iraqi artifacts for me means restoring self-esteem and confidence in Iraqi society.
Following the first U.S.-led war against Iraq in 1991, Iraqi leader Saddam Hussein temporarily lost his iron grip. Museums were looted and priceless objects stolen.
The looting of the museum hit us in our core because our history is really important to us. Our history is what makes us. We're an old country. In fact, I can say we're the oldest country.
In 2014, the tablet was bought for $1.6 million by the wealthy fundamentalist Christian who was building a museum of the Bible in Washington, D.C. The fragment was seized by U.S. government authorities in 2019.
Fake documentation led to its resale and transport to other countries, only to have it returned to the U.S., where an auction house facilitated its sale for $1.6 million.
The head of the UN's cultural organization says the repatriation of the Gilgamesh tablet sends a message.
This ceremony here is also a welcome warning to the smugglers and looters of this world, to those who use conflicts to steal and to traffic cultural heritage, participating in the destruction of cultural diversity.
The epic itself is written as if recounting a dream, telling the deeds of the hero Gilgamesh, his contests with beasts and gods. Gilgamesh sought the secret of immortality, but in the end, the hero learns a hard truth. What you seek, you shall never find, the text says, for when the gods made man, they kept immortality for themselves. Rob Reynolds, Al Jazeera.
What you think about that?
Well, I don't know. I have somewhat of a conflict, which I don't have proof, but they said it is the oldest, which I don't know if anybody knows what the oldest. I mean, Earth is Earth. All of it came here. Was here at one point, all at one time. But Iraq is ancient Sumeria, where one of the we known ancient civilizations that existed way before Egypt, and the known Egypt, what we know of, because Egypt is really just a capital city of the
But
of
that's
the
what he
like
meant. He was talking about Mesopotamia when he was saying that.
yeah.
Even though I get what you're saying, but as far as I don't know. Most people's idea of the oldest civilization is like Mesopotamia, and which would be right around that same area.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, because that's one of the places where that the Anunnaki was the first to what we call Anunnaki or Planet X or whatever was first seen in that area based on the current history that we know. So yeah, and I've always, I guess, imagined the tablets. They say the stone tablets. I always assumed like they were just like this big, huge things. That you know, or whatever. But I guess it makes more sense that it still needs to be something that you can write on, or be
Also,
able
for
to
you to read
carry,
it. Yeah,
to
because
read it or
carry
to
it and read
carry.
it. Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, that
yeah.
was one of the things. Yeah, but that's just a piece of it, right?
But yeah, that was just a piece of it. But that also shows how much better the technology was, right? Like how I bet you our books ain't gonna make it that long. Even the ones that's in the libraries and shit like that, them shit's gonna deteriorate.
Well, paper, I mean, papers is biodegradable, so yeah, I mean, they won't last the same, but at the same time, with it has a higher chance of lasting a long time because when it's in a library, it's not open to
Air
just
and moisture. Yeah.
yeah, a lot of different things. So it'll last a long time, and plus, it's always something that we can recreate to keep going. To be able to pass on to you know future civilizations. But
Yeah, but look, we digging up they shit they wrote, and they wrote that shit a long ass fucking time ago.
yeah, I think that because I mean that would have to be at least what 10,000 years ago,
Yeah, long
five
time.
thousand years ago.
I don't know. I don't want to speculate on the number. A long ass time ago.
Well, I'm kind of I guess going because I mean I guess it could have because I mean some of these civilizations could have been going on at the same time. So I'm just kind of you
Yeah.
know, but I would think that I mean maybe it's even longer than that. I mean, shoot, it might be 20, thirty
That's why I
thousand
say,
years ago.
yeah, I don't want to speculate because sometimes some stuff be old to the old to the some stuff was ancient to the ancients, you know, and so sometimes we think they may have wrote it and maybe they discovered that shit too. Just like we dug some shit up, they dug some shit up too,
Yeah,
and they had
definitely.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
and they just had it, and then it looks like they wrote it, but no, they just had it. And I'm
Well,
not
and
saying that's the case for that particular artifact. I'm just saying, it's I have to know a lot more information to even begin to like speculate on the time frame.
well, and that's the thing.
Oh, we lost him. I'm getting tired too. I don't know how much longer I'm gonna go. It's 3 a.m.
It's 3 a.m.
I'm gonna play my transition.
It is not 3 a.m.
Yeah, it's 3:08.
No. Put the toilet seat down. The next time you go use the restroom.
Okay.
Gosh.
All right. Well, what I was saying before I got cut off is that one of the things that we may not be here to see is because, like, I don't know if you probably have noticed it being in anthropology that a lot of the stuff that the ancient America stuff that hasn't been revealed yet or that they're still because like even some of the stuff that they're starting to really get into now, they're saying like some of the civilizations that they're finding, uh well, a lot of it is in South America, but even the stuff that they're finding here in North America, they said like to really be able to, you know, truly do the true research on it and be able to give good evidence of it'll still take probably 100 years to really get it. You're gonna have to pass it on from, generation to generation in order to really get to, the true answers of a lot of those things. That stuff is still going on in Egypt. They're finding stuff that like there's something some of the pyramids that's there that has been closed and shut off to the public for so long that because I don't know. Have you heard of Billy Carson?
I know the name, but I can't think of what's the connection though.
Well, he's one of those researchers. I don't know if to really call him an anthropologist, but he does a lot of he does a lot of the ancient research, and he's been focused mostly over in Egypt. And he just
Oh
left
yeah, I
again.
know it's light skinned guy, kind of plump.
Nah, no,
That's not
no,
him.
nah,
Okay,
yeah, nah.
he looks
I
Egyptian.
no, he's
No,
dark
Arabic
skin.
or whatever.
Well, I mean, I don't know what we say the original Egyptians is. He doesn't look like the Egyptians that's there now. Like
Mm,
I mean, he's one of us. He's,
yeah.
he's dark skinned
What's up?
American.
Where's the little one?
She in the restroom.
Okay. Anyway, I saw
Yeah,
Quest tonight.
Oh yeah.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I'll tell you later.
All right.
All right.
yeah, but he's just did a trip to Egypt, ancient Kemet, he Kupta, because from what I understand, that's the original name of what we call Egypt now is Hikupta. But however, he's been over there doing different stuff. He started a channel. He has a channel called Forbidden Knowledge, and
Oh yeah, I follow that. Forbidden knowledge.
yeah, the guy who owns that's Billy Carson, and he been doing a lot of stuff. So it's a lot of things that hasn't been revealed. That's there and has of course has been there, but my whole thing is like I'm more interested in the stuff here in America. I want
Right.
somebody to be able to uncover a lot of the stuff that's here
The
in North
the,
America, South America.
the South American stuff, like, cause the ruins down there and the pyramids and like the guy who was talking about the Amaru stuff was talking about how he said there's some stuff out there that they built to make it look like ruins, and it's and even the anthropologists know that it's a whole bunch of pyramids out there, but they can't see them because of the overgrowth. Um the jungle has kind of taken it back, and they fly over it, and then they use these kind of like uh computer
Sonar.
type shit, but they only gives them a bit, and it's not very accessible. You know what I'm saying? You still don't have. I think they still got like tribes out there, like
I
untouched
wasn't there.
people, like
I
random
wouldn't doubt
ass,
it.
like, because
Well,
some of
and
that stuff is it's not close to. There's no people that really live out there or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You can't get over there. There's no roads, nothing.
look at it from this idea is that if that is happening in South America, if there's a people that's out there that they're just realizing it's there. Is that the same thing that's possible here?
And
Is it?
in North America,
I drive all
the
over the
Central
country.
America, definitely.
Yeah, look, I drive all over the country, and there's areas where I look and I'm like, that's a perfect place for like, because I mean, there's a lot of things like they, develop highways and this, that, and the other that directs you away from certain things.
Right.
So you know, you might be passing by what looks like a big forest that you think is uninhabitable, where people might actually be living there. That some of those tribes may have been there since shoot
Well,
since before
Texas is
George.
big as fuck too, and but I, in my brain when you say that though, I think of Louisiana because you got all those swampy areas, and really a lot of areas that's not very accessible, and it could totally be all kinds of shit back off in there, that because
Well,
then nobody just go back there.
well, so one of the places that I guess ring off for me, since like I said, I've traveled all over the place, is up in Pennsylvania. Like when you look at a lot of these mountainous areas, I mean, so, dude, like some of these, like you see nothing but trees that's covering everything, and big tall trees, whatever. Like it's just full of trees, but within all of that could easily be a small civilization, a large civilization. Like, it could be a whole group of people that, they know there's an outside, but they don't want nothing to do with it. I mean, just think about the Sentinel Island. I mean, that's kind of off by itself, but there's people that actually live that way now to this day. So I don't think it's impossible, and that's one of the things that, I'm so open minded that, I don't want to be totally just crazy and just be like saying, oh, this is a
Yeah,
definite thing.
because
But
who knows though, right? Because it's so much stuff. Like we and like because you got the jungles, like the damn jungles, and a lot of people, regular people, don't understand that kind of shit. Like a forest, like a real forest. If it's a real forest, nigga, there ain't no fucking roads in that hole. There ain't no fucking lodges. There's no hotels in that hole. It's a damn
yeah,
forest, bro. It's whatever's in there is in there, like bears, whatever the hell. And so, and then it goes on and on and on and on and on.
I,
Where's the edge of it?
well, look, I was just recently that passing through what I think it's called Coahoma, Mississippi, and there's some mounds there, and they got signs up off limits to the public and this, that, and the other. I mean, people lived there at one time. I mean, I'm not saying that there's people that's living there now, because I know that's a lot of the stuff that they're exploring as we speak. You know, some of our history that a lot of us can't even go see for ourselves. That our grandparents would, and that's they have these mounds in, I know, North Louisiana. There, there's in different places. You know what I'm saying, that the average person, who not even interested in stuff like that, they'll never even assume it or whatever. But there's a lot of history that's hidden right under our noses, and we just have no clue.
Because I wouldn't be surprised when we talk about them damn forests, is the forests and shit. Because we literally don't know what the hell is in it. We discover shit all the time. That's the reason why I like anthropology. We
Look,
discover shit all the time.
East St. Louis, uh, that's actually in Illinois. East St. Louis, Illinois. There's a pyramid there. They said that there's like shamans, or like people that's like always been there, but the average person don't know that.
And then you
Like
got
a lot of
the water too, underwater, and like the places that were lakes before, and or wasn't lakes before, and they're lakes there now, stuff like that. Because from the guy who was talking about the Oamaru stuff, he was talking about how California was kind of separated from the main continent because it had a waterway there. There was some kind of, what was it? The Red Sea, I think he was what he was calling it. I don't know. I have to go back to the video. That's super interesting stuff. Because I remember
well,
seeing it. He showed some maps, and I think I saw some maps before. He even showed that showed that there was something there. There used to be a body of water there.
yeah, well, and I, based on some of the stuff that I've seen through some of these documentaries, is that like America would be really like, I don't know if they're trying to say like there's a Garden of Eden on each continent, or the Holy Land of, or whatever, that they had Holy Land of each one, because I guess like they're saying like Illinois, Chicago area, whatever, would have been like Mecca, the Mecca of, you know, I guess maybe this continent, or the actual one that's been spoke of in the Bible. So I mean, uh, they have stuff down, I know, in South America where they said the city of David. Like there's a lot of different things that's just blowing my mind, that I really just, really would like to be able to see for myself, go visit, see whatever I can see. But that's stuff that, man, I really like. Everything else, I mean, all the other stuff is cool. Like, cause I mean, there's history on every part of this earth, Antarctica. Like I think about that, where, it's just coming out of its ice age. So I mean, shoot, we might be saying, "Oh, this is the oldest here," but then come to discover, and sometime down the road, that Antarctica might be the one of the oldest civilizations and different things. So I mean, we can't get caught up in things being definite after everything we find. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? So
Yeah, because it's gonna change as we learn more information. This lady, what was it? Let me try to think about this for a second. The lady, what did she say? Hold on, I lost it. It's about perspective. It kind of goes back to perspective. It's related to damn it, I lost it, bro. I lost it.
it'll come back to you.
Yeah, it'll come back. Go ahead, talk. It'll come back to me. Let me think about it.
Yeah, but like it's a lot because I mean, when you really think about it, as far as like just the recent history of America, California, a lot of California was a part of Mexico. You know what I'm saying? So we got to think about what made those separations. Um, why these different tribes, you know, were separate. Why did they get along? What of course I'm assuming that they did trade between each other, but the territorial thing, because like I said, I mean, you think about Louisiana before, a lot of people see Louisiana just as just this boot shaped thing, but Louisiana was all the way over to Florida. You know what I'm saying? All of that was connected all the way up to Canada.
All the way
You
up
know what
into
I'm saying?
Canada.
Yeah. And as far west as I think Oregon, you know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of things that we have to take into account when we really looking at a lot of this stuff. But you know, like I said, the mounds, the different pyramids that we have here, that nobody's able to really, if they know about it, they can't really speak on it so much. And we get a lot of information out of South America, but why is North America not being talked about?
Yeah, I think there's a reason behind that because the desert. We didn't even mention the desert.
Yeah.
It could be
Um.
because we
What?
got we got huge deserts here in the United States, and they could be shit out there.
Yeah, and just think about it, because yeah, that was one of the thoughts I was having before, was about like up in Missouri. You know, I've been to Kraft. The people that make the cheese and this, that, and the other. These people have warehouses that's in the mountains. I drive my truck into, like, there's
Mm,
50, 18 wheelers or more in going driving through this place at one time. These
damn,
huge places. And it's like the history behind that. How was, what I'm saying? Like, them, of course it's been discovered. Like, I don't think they went and chopped up a mountain to be able to do that. No, that it had an access already through there. And
that would make
you can't,
sense.
yeah, you can't go through all, completely through it. But I mean, you ever thought about the Underground Railroads? That's not just a myth. That's stuff that they have, whether it's a tunnel or actual railroads that ran through mountains and stuff. Like, where was I? Colorado, Wyoming, different places. I'm driving down the highway and I look over and I see there's a train running down around the side of the damn mountain. So it's like, a lot of this stuff wasn't done just right since the 1800s, the 1700s. You know what I'm saying? A lot of this stuff has been around forever. So like the the for somebody to be bold enough, first of all, to put a railroad on the side of the mountain, but of course it's going into the mountain. You know what I'm saying? Through the mountain. There's a lot of stuff that's undiscovered, or at least to the average person, of the true accessibility that we could have and could be, that we could actually use, or the hidden things. Because it's like, what is it, the national, what's the national forest? Dog, the Grand Canyon. Like just think
Yeah.
about just different places like that.
Oh,
That
and Yellowstone.
Yellowstone, that's the one I'm talking. Yellowstone National
Yep.
Forest and the
Yeah.
parks or whatever. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff that we don't know about that. I mean, we get access to certain parts of it, but just think of, I mean, how many miles? I mean, when you really look at this country and you realize, like, okay, it's a small world, but it's a huge world at the same time because
Right.
there's
Because
so
we're
many.
all just huddled together in the same little spots, and it's huge expansions where really there's no hardly to no people, as far
Well,
as we know.
when they calculate the amount of people that's on planet Earth right now, and they said that the all 8 million people, 7 point or whatever million, are going up into the 9 million. I mean, is it billion people? 8 billion
Yeah,
people? Yeah,
something like that.
could all fit in the state of Texas
Yeah.
comfortably. So knowing that, we're so minute to this earth, but big at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like you just, of course, it's perspective, but like there's all kinds of things that I think that we don't really take the time to really understand. And a lot of the us as a civilization now are much dumber. I totally believe that. Like we just
The damn internet that made us dumb as
we
fuck.
we ignorant as hell.
I wanted to ask you because you wasn't on the show yesterday. You know that New York rolled out all that shit. They starting to roll out all that shit. Like you can't go to restaurants and bars. All of the healthcare workers have to be Basically, it's a vac. Like everybody in the city is supposed to be vaccinated. Basically, is what they're saying, and it's you can get up to 7 years in jail for faking your vaccination card, and you got to show your vaccination card to get into restaurants and shit like that.
Yeah, I think they're doing that with certain areas to gain control of those areas because I think that they don't really care if those cities get shut down because of whatever plan they may have for the future. And this is just me. This in my opinion, I think that they don't really care like with the healthcare, this, that, and the other. Like if everybody moves to another state and live in another state, just like I said, I mean, the people that's in New York, if they redistribute themselves throughout the country, it won't really make that big of a difference. And if they can, get more people in concentrated areas,
A lot of people
or
are moving to Texas. But what I think is they're going to move this across the nation, though. They're just rolling it out in Texas.
well, and it's kind of funny that
I mean, in New York.
the states that's happening, what we call it countries or states, but for it to be New York, happening in New York and in California.
That sounds like a rollout. That sounds like, when you scale down because you do it, that's how you do it. So you can work out the kinks. They're working out the kinks because New York is a perfect place to, because when you move it to other cities, the problems are going to be the same. They're not going to be as complex and hard to deal with. So if they work it out in New York, they can roll that shit out in every city across the nation.
Yeah, it's man. There's so many things that could be on the route. I don't want to speculate too much, but it's just so you know that's one of the things that stuck out of my head was the fact that not to say that those are democratic states, California and New York. So those are some of the most highly populated places here in North America. that if they can take control of those areas, it's a point to where they can start to surround different places or strategically place certain things to get more control.
So what I wanted to ask you. So what? Like, let's say they roll this out across the nation, and you're gonna end up with a certain segment of people who can't go to like restaurants and stuff and can't have regular ass jobs and stuff. What do you think that's gonna look like?
Uh, the 1800s.
I didn't expect that answer.
Well, I mean, and the reason why I'm saying that is because there's gonna be more people that are gonna take more control of their lives. They're gonna,
It might turn out to be a good thing, huh?
it
Niggas
could,
with farms and actually start building communities and being like, we don't need the government for nothing. So we don't need to go to restaurants. We don't need to go to baseball games.
Mhm.
Fuck that shit.
and they'll have their own, they'll have their own restaurants that they can put pride in and make the the thing to do for their community. You know what I'm saying? Instead of, what I'm saying, I love Papa Do's, but you know what I'm saying. And when I get a chance, I go. But
You can live
if
without it.
I could definitely live without it, and I ain't gonna lie, I prefer good old
Home
hamburger,
cook.
steak, some good
Yeah.
baked fish or grilled fish at the house.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always been that way. You know what I'm saying?
Me too.
And I can be around the people that I choose to be around. I
Right.
mean, what's more living than that?
And I think it goes earlier. You said something, and I wanted to touch on because like the trophies, like asking them for permission, it's kind of like asking for trophies and stuff. Like they give you Grammys, they give you gold stars, they give you, good job. You're
Rewards, yeah, a pat on the back or a pat on the ass, and you did, yeah,
attaboy, attaboy,
yeah,
attaboy.
yeah,
And then like it's like that's what you want. You just want that acceptance from them, that good job type shit. uh
that's
and that's
happening.
what and
That's
that's what it
happening a
is when
lot.
the restaurants or whatever. So but there's a lot of people that don't care about having their approval, right? So
I'm not one of them. I don't really give a
I don't.
damn.
I don't need the reward. I don't need to win a Grammy from them. I don't need to go watch the. I don't care for the sports anyways. I don't watch basketball, football hardly. I don't watch none of that shit really that much
Yeah.
anymore at all. Anyway, so I'm not gonna miss it. You know what I'm
To
saying? And
to
go.
me, a lot of the sport. I'm sorry, but a lot of the sports, because when I was a kid, we used to watch wrestling. Like that was one of those things. They used to have Deep South wrestling that we used to watch all the time. The Van Eriks and what's that? Jim Doug. Like it was all these. We used to get into it, but then it got to a point to where it became just a shit show, or like it just didn't seem as real. It probably was always fake, but it didn't seem as real, so I kind of drew away from that. I got into basketball, like coming up through the 90s. I loved, I watched Larry Bird, Magic, Jordan, like all the stuff where it was like, seemed more like, it was more contact, or it seemed to be. But that changed. It got to a point to where that seemed like soft, and it wasn't like a real sport anymore. And football is starting to be the same way. It's starting to look like now like football, depending on the and some people have kind of pointed out how it was predictable of what teams
Was
would
going to the
win.
bowl and
Yeah,
who would win. Yeah, the whole
yeah.
thing. So
So
that's Las Vegas running that shit so they can make their money. So
yeah,
fucking but it's a distraction anyways, right? And part of
of
it is like
course.
that individual, their way of thinking too, that stunting on my neighbors type shit, trying to appear to be wealthy, like because I can go to the game, I can go to the and taking pictures and shit. And that's what it's all about. Like, I'm better than you. Post it on my Instagram. See, you wasn't at the game. Where you was at, you know?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I
So
wasn't gonna.
so so that's what I'm saying. So that's not a community, that's individuality. That's that illusion of individuality, and that's that ego, and that's, you know, and so, but if we, and that's what they hold over your head though, too, though. That's what I'm saying. That's my point of that. It's like, so because with the COVID, right, you got to get the vaccine, and it's like, oh, well, now you can't go to the game. You can't be with all your friends. All your friends are gonna be at the game. Don't you want to go to the game? You know, oh,
Yeah.
you need a job. You got to pay your damn bills. Don't you need to pay your bills? You know, you're dumb if you can't, if you don't get money from us so that you can pay your bills. You know, you got to have a job, work for somebody, have a boss. You know, that's what you need to do. You know, and if you don't do that, then that's what it is. You don't want to take the jab, then you don't get to have a job, not no work for us, and you can't you can't go to our games, you can't be a part of our club, you can't come to our
And,
restaurants.
but I'm gonna tell you, I think like not to say that some of the people when the shot rolled out that some of the people were truly like this is just the best thing. I think this is going to be that's the best thing to do. But I think a lot of people that actually went and took the shot, it was based on the fear of loss of the jobs and the since this you know community that they want to be a part of so much, because it's like for the most part that's what I was hearing, like, so we can get back to normal, like no, there's like what you've called normal is no longer normal anymore. This is a
It,
whole new
it's
world,
it's
and
gone.
by you not accepting that, it's gonna mess with you even more down the road, because there's a reality of this life that you're not really seeing.
Accepted, yeah.
Yeah,
and
because
and
they told you, because somebody told you we can get it back to quote unquote normal.
and
That I don't,
it's a way to control them because they're so scared, right? It's another thing to be afraid of. It's like, oh my God, if I just do this, it'll be normal again. Oh my God, if I just do this, it'll be normal again. And then it's like normal never comes. And it's like I say, it's another thing to be scared of. Every time you turn your corner, it's level threat level red, threat level red, threat level red. I'm scared, I'm
but
scared, I'm scared.
and somebody kind of put it in a different light for me this past week. I'm on this new social media. As a matter of fact, Billy Carson has his own social media, kind of like IG is growing, but it's called United 99. Unite the 99,
Mm,
because it's 1% of the people who really, you know, truly connected. The rest of us need to get connected. Like, we really need to
yeah.
come together. But however, they said that just like in 2001, with they sold us on the whole idea of for us to be safe, protect us from
Threat
terrorism.
threat level red. I
Yeah,
distinctly remember that shit.
yeah. That and that's where they were able to take away a lot of our
And they, to this
rights and
day, and the presidents, and that's what they say, power never concedes power. So once you give them opportunity to gain more power, they're not going to let that go. Come
they're not
on,
gonna get they're
forget
not
about
giving
it.
them they are not
Forget
giving it
about
back.
it. Every time they say it's temporary, oh, this is just for emergency. Oh no, we're heading towards tyranny, bro. We're heading towards totalitarianism. We're heading towards
They once somebody receive a certain level of power, they're not gonna just give it back.
you can't
And
you can't
and
keep giving them more and more power.
yeah, and I mean it's gonna push to a point where the people are gonna be like, of course, especially there's a lot of people who see it clear as day now, but there's gonna be a bunch of people who realize, 3, 5, maybe even up
10
10 years
years.
from now, that wow, this is what this has come
They
to,
gave, it was
and
a power grab. They grabbed a
and,
bunch of power, and look, they still using that shit now.
and they're
And
gonna
that's what
be
I mean
so
about
angry.
the demonizing a group and attacking them. you know. And some people, I saw them saying the Star of David or whatever. That's what they're doing. I saw a meme on that, and I think that's a pretty good comparison because they're talking about the Jews in Germany. They made them wear something to identify that they were Jewish, so that they can know how to treat them differently. Like that's the same thing. They're gonna have us walking
Exactly.
around identifying us as unvaxxed.
Yeah, vax the
Stay
unvax.
6 feet away from that guy. Put an A on him
No, no,
for
no.
asshole.
What I mean, what they're not going to be able to do. I think most of the people, because see, that's the problem. Like a lot of the people who are not vaxxed are the ones that's, you know, of course, they have the science that they've been access to, but those are the fucking warriors. Those are the ones that's not just gonna, you know, turn in their fucking oh, here goes my rights. You do what you will with them.
And I saw a lot of
Just
videos of people with a lot of money who gave their job up, making 300,000 a year or whatever. Like the amount, it was nurses who was quitting, and they was like, it's about my rights. I just, hey, I mean, I really do want to. I would love to stay here. I want to work, but I
yeah,
just, it's about my rights. I can't do it. I just
there's a
can't do
lot
it.
of
So that's what I think that they think that they can control all of us for money. But a lot of us, they don't understand. We're going to just find other things because before we had this capitalist society that we live in, we was able to make it before. Like they think that we can't survive without their system, because they've sold us on the idea that we can't survive without their system. But
or
niggas that's from the hood, niggas that's been poor, know that there's ways
or
around.
or they're sending the signal for those that are empowered enough to say, hey, I'm not gonna deal with this crap. I'm gonna just go do my own thing, to go ahead and start doing their own thing, and all they have to worry about is the ones who's the followers. That's like, what's next, boss? You whatever you say, master.
Oh, I get
You
what you're
know,
saying. Distinguish them. Let's distinguish them so we can know what we're dealing with. We're gonna deal
who's the
with
real
these
cattle?
ones like
Who's
this,
the
and we're
real
gonna deal with
cattle?
them like this. Yeah.
Yeah, who's the real cattle, and who are the ones who can sustain?
Or maybe they're gonna attack the ones that they like, okay, these are the
You
problem motherfuckers.
you
That
never
might be
know,
what they're thinking.
because the people that can be controlled by fear are the easiest ones to control.
Right.
So you know,
Why would they not want them around though? That helps grind the machine.
well, to a certain extent, because you got to think about the herd are the ones that's becoming unneeded.
They are needed. They're the most valuable commodity, bro. And that's what I be saying
How?
all the time.
Not with the
Humans.
new technology. Not with the new
They're
technology.
the
That's
they're the they're the highest tech commodity, bro. They're the ones buying the damn iPhones. They're the ones that's buying the Louis
no,
Vuitton.
no. All of
They're
them.
the ones
You don't have
who
an
taking
iPhone?
flights. I'm saying I don't buy one every year. I don't buy
Yeah,
one every time it come
but
out.
but that's the thing. Shoot, these tech companies have made so much money, over like $1,000 for each phone. Like there's
They want
300.
more. They
No,
this
no.
Christmas they finna hit them again.
Look, look. The money that they make here in America is, yeah, it's been the bread and butter. But if they go move more into the international community where they're looking at past 300
I can see
million,
that. I can see that
y-
because India and Africa are really coming up, but they don't pass up money. These people are already been groomed for years to be
I,
consumers.
I
Sell
think
them some shit.
I think we might be kind of overlooking some of the, because I mean, if that whole
All they care about is money.
the 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 DE, the if lessening the amount of people is a part of the plan, you don't think that they have planned for it? They didn't expect that it was gonna, what they would
Right?
have to deal with.
Like it's factored into the equation. I get what you're saying. Like it's part of the collateral
Yes,
damage type shit.
yes.
Like we're
I mean,
we're okay
you can't
with
believe
changing
you can't
our
believe one
lifestyle.
thing. yeah, you can't believe one thing without accepting and understanding what comes from that idea. So if anybody that believes in that whole plan has to realize and understand that, yeah, that's a part. And shoot, what's the damn, why can't I think of the word for it? The damn tax they put on the money. The what's it called?
Sales tax.
No. The actual tax that go, the hidden tax on money, when the value changes all of the value of everything. Why I don't know why I can't think of the word right now, but a lot of that stuff is gonna be factored right into, the cost. Like, like shit that costs $1 be $10 in order for it to cover up any other losses. If that's really, what I'm saying. Damn, somebody listening probably could say, tell me. But we've been talking about it for the last few weeks of what we looking at coming to, with them printing all the extra money.
I don't know what you're talking about right now in the Congress.
Because they've been
They got
printing
the
up so
debt
much
ceiling.
money.
They got the
Yeah, I know.
debt ceiling thing going on. They got
There's
the
about to be a
infrastructure.
shutdown. There's
Yeah,
about to
because
be a
they're
shutdown.
arguing about it. They did an extension for another, I don't know, couple days or some shit. But yeah, so they got that. Then they got the infrastructure bill, and then they got that it's like the debt reconciliation bill or whatever. So that's what's going on. I don't know if that's what you're talking
It's
about.
bothering me that I can't think of that.
Yeah, that shit that I was supposed to say earlier never came back to me. I was scrolling on Instagram trying to make it trigger back, but it couldn't. So I just stopped scrolling. It was just
Well,
distracting.
and that's
Couldn't think
one of
of it.
those things. That's one of those things that you know we have to really consider that, because the government. Because I mean, to me, because I guess with the duality of us living in a capitalist slash socialist society, because we're kind of living on both, you know
Definitely,
at the
definitely,
same time,
definitely.
that the reason that we can't, if things don't balance out, is because of that duality. Because maybe if there was one, just dealt with one, it would be easier for people to, be able to kind of live with. But because the government is shutting down, it shouldn't shut down everything, other people, because that's just like people who live on Social Security. If the government truly shuts down, okay, there's no checks for those people who've been looking for it and depend on it. Um, there's
Yeah, so that's what it
so
is. It's not the private companies, everybody gonna go on, but it'll be if you work for the government in any kind of capacity, if you get a check from the government in any kind of capacity, those checks may not come
yeah,
until they
and,
until they
and,
work
and
it
I
out.
the last time that happened, it was just the citizens that didn't get any of the money, but the government officials, they still was getting
So it's
their
a
money.
damn game. It's a ripoff. That's why I say, and the whole thing about the debts ceiling shit is all trash anyways. It's all just political. Another thing they can fight about every cycle.
Well, and they're making. I heard somebody make the argument that you know the debt ceiling, raising the debt ceiling, isn't just about being able to pass the infrastructure bill. It's just to be able to pay the regular bills
Right.
that the government has.
Right.
So,
They
you
do that
know,
every time though. It happens. They do this every time, bro. Every time. This same thing happened when Trump was in there. Remember when it happened with Trump? My cousin, the nigga dude was on the show with us. He works for the VA. They get paid once a month. And the government was shut down for a long time because Trump was doing what he was doing.
uh huh.
And I don't remember how long it was, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, however long it was. It ended up being my cousin didn't get paid for like 3 months or some shit. And I mean, eventually he got his money, big huge ass check, but he had to find a way to live.
Yeah, and the first thing that came out of my mouth was Social Security or welfare or whatever. But what about the military? That's you
And
know,
any government, everybody,
and,
if your check comes from the government, it's not coming when they do this. So they fucking
yeah,
with y'all. That ain't right. It's not right. It's not right. It's not right. Because these people, like I say, my cousin, he kept working those whole 3 months or whatever. He
what
was going back and
well
forth
that's
to
because
work.
he'll end up fired if he didn't. Like that's the whole thing. They still expect you to go to work and do your job, but and not spend the time that you need to be actually providing for your family. Like this was the way to provide for my family, but this happens in more places. Like I've heard of
Hey,
this happening in
he
Nigeria.
was going through it because he was borrowing money from me, and like I say, I'm poor. This dude make really good money,
Yeah.
and he was borrowing money from me.
Well,
It's not a joke, man. They really just need to change that rule. People need to be more involved and understand more about what's happening. They really just be fucking with everybody when it comes to that shit because they have money, bro. They have money. They have money. That shit is
but
trash.
that's
They just only want to spend money when it can, it's politically convenient. And a lot of times it's always because the corporations are running the damn politicians. We keep saying it over and over. So any bill that gets passed is for them most of the time. It's usually just a straight up handout to them, or
it,
something that loosens regulations, something that benefits them in some kind of way.
Oh yeah,
So
I mean that's a definite. Like that's where the one of the biggest problems is within the government is that you know they focus more on the corporate structure instead of now, even though it is, I mean, the government itself, the way what it is now is a corporate entity. So I mean, it somewhat makes sense based on the way it's structured, but at the same time, how long are we going to allow this thing to run the way it's running without making the changes necessary? And because we're so divided in our understanding and of what the government is and what it should be, we're all over the place instead of saying, okay, this person has been ruining our lives. They ruined our parents' lives when they was young, and now here we are, the age of our parents, and they're still there doing the same kind of stuff. They have to go. I don't care what side of government they're on. That individual needs to be out of there. We need to put somebody else in there. And when we see people doing those things, we have to recognize it and come together as a people to say, all right, this is a problem. We need somebody new from, Texas or Virginia, South Carolina, California, whatever part of the country where, that senator, that congressman, whoever it is, like we all have to be able to recognize that this is a problem, get them out of there so that somebody that has been ruining things for 20 years doesn't get another 20 years to do the same thing. And that's the part that I wish people would realize, like stop caring about this whole Democrat, Republican, independent, libertarian, all that idea. We
focus on
need
the
to look at
issues,
the people and the policies, the things
the
that
policies.
you,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the part that most of us have been missing. And this whole identity politics crap, because if we're ever gonna be truly say that we're equal, we don't divide everybody up into, okay, well, this the black vote, this the Hispanic vote, this the white vote, this the this, that, and the other. We're keeping us uneven or unequal just by promoting that kind of idea. You know what I'm saying? Like Republican Party is not for white people. You know what I'm saying? The
Yeah,
Democratic Party is not for black people.
right.
You know, it can, if their ideas, what they're promoting is better than the other party, vote for that. Not, you know what I'm saying? And to be honest, like I've seen more white people that has voted on both sides. Some might have voted Republican this time, but like just past, just there was people who had voted for Trump the first time around. It was like, nope, we want this asshole out of here. They're Republicans, but they're voting Democrat right now because we need this part to change. You know what I'm saying? We need people all over the spectrum to be able to kind of, if it doesn't benefit you in your community at home or whatever, you can't keep voting for the same kind of crap and then try to be upset when things don't go the way you planned or you hoped or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't add up.
Yeah, it's a number of those Trump support voters that voted for Obama,
Biden or
and
Biden?
like
No, what? No, for Biden?
Obama, and
No.
yeah, and
Oh! You're saying before when Trump
yeah,
came in, a lot
before,
of people that voted for Obama ended up voting for Trump,
right.
and that's the thing. I think that there's more of a versatile look on politics because a lot of them realize that's what this whole idea is about. I mean, yeah, like I said, you can get hung up on the party aspect, but no, we're looking at like that's just like most black people at one point were Republicans. That switched. That most black people are Democrats now, but from election to election, maybe that needs to happen more often than you know a century. 1 century just totally voting Democrat, and then the next century, okay, well, there's they go to Republican, or there's a new uh party that might come about. Maybe everybody's on libertarian or whatever. But I think it should be as people come in because I don't think all Republicans are bad. I don't think all Democrats are bad. I think they're actually good Democrats, good Republicans, and there's bad Democrats and bad Republicans. And it's mostly about that person and what they're coming there to fight for when they go to DC.
And I'm getting tired. So to wrap it, what you got to say about the idea of like, the illusion of individuality and lost perspective?
We've been sold a bill of goods that ain't worth it, and we gotta reassess all of what we've been looking at, and we have to look at it from a different perspective. You know, listen to other people, truly listen to understand, not just to respond to fight with the same stuff that you heard somebody say on TV. You know what I'm saying? Be genuine about the whole thing that we're dealing with, because I mean, we all we got. You know what I'm saying? And if we gonna, automatically got a chip on our shoulder just because, based on what you say, because I mean, I get it all the time. Oh, you're a Trump supporter. I'm not. He wasn't. He was never a favorite of mine. But at the same time, I could see where he was fighting for things that I thought was better for, the community, where everything wasn't. You know what I'm saying? But between the fight in Trump and Biden, yes, I felt like Trump, as bad as that sounds, Trump was better than Biden.
Yeah, I
you know what I'm
couldn't. They couldn't. I couldn't punch that hole. I couldn't punch that hole. There's one that I couldn't
saying?
do.
Yeah, but we got to be more open minded. That's the more of all of what I'm saying. We got to be more open minded. I'm not telling you to lean one way or another, because we all still have different points of view, but don't be so hung up on a few things without at least giving an open mind to other ideas, because everybody else ain't wrong or totally
Right.
wrong.
Right. You can't be. It's like that's the whole idea. Like that I ask people, and it's like, is there a chance that you could be wrong? I think that people don't really think about that. Could you be wrong? Could you be wrong about what you thought before, even if it's something that you've been holding for a long time? And another thing I like to say is that if you haven't changed if your perspective hasn't changed in years, then you haven't grown in years. Because for you to continue to grow, your perspective is gonna change with that growth. Because now you can see more.
Yeah. Yeah, and maybe you just haven't given yourself a chance to look at the other side, the other's perspective. Why, you know what I'm saying? Why are you, do you believe what you believe, and truly open up to where, you're not trying to judge them, or, just hear enough to where you can attack them. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I find a lot. It's just like, you know, they hear, they wait for the trigger word or trigger term or whatever it is, and then it's just like they ready to just go all up against you, instead of truly understanding why you felt the way you felt, because maybe that's the block that you are having, and that's me or you or the whoever they're coming up,
Whoever.
that might be the block. You know what I'm saying?
Because you
But
because you already think you're right, and it don't matter what it is. Like me sitting here on the show, feeling like I'm right about whatever the hell it is that I'm talking about, and not trying to hear no other kind of perspective on it. And because I already feel like I know I'm right. So if you don't agree with me, then apparently you're wrong.
yeah.
So
I mean, after hearing your cousin the other night, that came on, the truck driver, I was like, I just was like, is it just truck drivers that starting to think like this? You know what I'm saying? That felt like, Trump might have been, I'm looking at it from a different angle than maybe I've looked at it before, because I don't want to be foolish. I mean, if I'm wrong, I want to be able to see the light. I don't want to live in darkness.
yeah,
I'm that person. Like, if I'm wrong, I'm freaking wrong, and I'm gonna do something so I can be at least more right. You know what I'm saying? If I could do that, so
right. Because the
that
person that's pursuing knowledge, he kind of is looking to be wrong. Because then when he finds out he's wrong, then that means boom, he just learned something. I just learned something because I
yeah,
thought that this was this, and then I found out that was not true. Even though it hurts, but boom, I
yeah.
just
I
learned
mean, I've
something.
I've been through many oh shit moments, like oh shit, like okay, damn, and I've been acting like this all this time. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause I mean, I am one of those people that when I feel strongly about something, I feel strongly about it.
Yeah, me
And
too.
but at the same time, when I don't feel strongly about that anymore, I'm not gonna be foolish to just keep. Oh well, damn, I've been on, so I gotta stick with it.
Yeah,
No, that's stupid.
that's how you keep from learning. That's how you end up being in arrested development and no longer can grow. You've hit a block. You've hit a block on your growth because now you can't accept that you was wrong or whatever.
Yeah,
And I think that's what it
that's a
is.
grown child. That's a grown child.
Yeah,
Yep.
never grew up. Don't know fat meat greasy.
Hey.
I don't know why I said that. It's a old school country down south
uh,
shit. I don't know.
yeah, but yeah,
Yeah,
man.
I'm gonna wrap it, man. It's 4 a.m. I gotta work tomorrow. I've been on for 3.
Yeah, I need to get me a little more rest before I go pick up this next load. I'm heading down south after this. Well, I'm in South. I'm in Atlanta right now, but pick up something tomorrow, and I'm headed to Louisiana. Go spend the weekend with my mom and my brother. He got some stuff going on. He just had eye surgery, so we go spend a little time with them.
Let me show you this. Oh damn, the sound. Let me take the sound out. This is a video that Deuce sent me of what he does at work. Wait, can you? Shit. I don't know how to hold it. All right.
Okay, I can see it. What is that?
That's the back of his truck.
Was he burning something?
No, he carries what is it? CO2. So they're offloading it. They're offloading it.
The hydrogen.
Whatever that chemical that it's oxygen, whatever the hell it is, liquid nitrogen.
Okay.
So I could be lying. One of them damn things. One of them chemicals.
I've never seen that machine before. Is that it?
So it's moving the stuff. You see the tube? It's moving the stuff from the truck to wherever the hell he's, the place.
Huh. Okay. So, what kind of benefit is that to the planet?
Or is it I don't know that's probably just water coming out. I bet you that's water vapor.
Steam?
Yeah.
Steam, okay. Hey, did you see that guy? Did you see that guy that created the machine that makes water out of air?
Nuh-uh, but you was telling me about it. You mentioned it before. No, I haven't seen it.
I think I sent you a video of
Oh, that's what it was. Okay.
Yeah. Man, that's incredible to me, man. Like,
that's probably the old ass technology, like I said.
I'm sure it is. I mean, but that's the thing, like, because his first model took up too much energy, but then he went back to the drawing board and like found a way to be able to do it with solar energy. He took it down to Haiti or Puerto Rico. I forget. Well, Puerto Rico, I think it was, and they vandalized the shit.
See, they don't want no free. The corporations, they want to charge you for everything. We're supposed to be having free power, free energy already. We should have been already to that point. And we was talking about the oil companies, they're having a stranglehold on the energy industry. Go ahead, my bad.
Well, no, I mean, because my thing is like, when is what the people need? Not because I mean the whole thing is okay. Even if you found a way that water from any source is supposed to be free water, but they found a way to charge. I mean, if they need to charge for, but like these people are not, they're not getting all of the water from the U.S. like they used to, like they was when a lot of the catastrophes first happened. They're trying to, rebuild and, restructure their communities and stuff. People are freaking like like everybody needs water. So
yeah.
when they come with this thing that can help people out, how how devilish could you be? How how hateful can you be?
That's evil.
Or so greedy that you mess up the opportunity for even your cousin to be able to get some water just because you can get some, and you want to be able to make money off of your cousin that like it. I don't.
Takes your breath away.
Yeah, man, that's some crude stuff, man.
That's evil.
But that was a brother from Texas, I believe. I think he's ex-military. Yeah. When he first came out with it was in Austin, but seemed like I want to learn more about it. I actually want one of those machines.
Yeah. When it sounds very interesting to me.
Yeah. But I'm gonna let you.
Yeah, man. Peace and love, bro.
You look like I looked the other night.
I'm spent. I ain't gonna lie. I'm spent.
All right, man.
Thank you
Well,
for your
shit,
time.
we'll do it tomorrow, man. I guess if whatever. I don't know what the plan is.
Yeah,
but
tomorrow's Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll do it tomorrow night. It'll be late like this one.
All right.
All right, man. I'm gonna play a song as an outro. Maybe I'm trying to change the format of the show, but peace and love, y'all. Thank y'all for joining. Hit the like, subscribe, and share. Shit.
Yes.
Maybe play the video again. Watch it again. I need some damn views. I don't know. Yeah, man.
Well, deuces to the family, everybody that came on and watched, and those who will watch later. We need y'all. We all
come on
need each
and
other.
Come here and join bring your voice to the to the story. We need everyone needs to hear you. We all want to hear you.
Definitely.
All right, man. Peace and love, bro.
For sure. One.
All right.
Strap your boots on, we finna march, it's time to march. Strap your boots on, we finna march, it's time to march. It's better to gun, never to run, so here we come, to sever the lung. Meticulous to the letter, ridiculous think you ever get with this lyricist. I really think I'll be feeling this shit forever. Gotta get my shit together, regardless of the weather. And if I think my mental's clever, smoking a swisher sweet on leather, them niggas can't keep me tethered. I'll fuck around, pull the levers, hot while you niggas wearing sweaters. And they got people in place wherever. I really wanna shake the ladder, or maybe it makes me smarter, really it makes me harder, make me better to raise my daughter. You people gon' check the order. How many wanna be a martyr? How many is getting larger? Any respect the father. Strap your boots on, we finna march, it's time to march. Strap your boots on, we finna march, it's time to march. Live slide, situation, faces and names. Live slide, catching cases, chasing them games. Why you gotta kill for 15 seconds of fame? And why I keep it real but still expecting to change? Why do I feel like redirecting my pain? Smiling while I'm saying to myself I'm insane. Hating for your health, you can't help but be lame. Obsessed with the wealth and it's melting your brain. I done heard them discussions about cases and planes, and I done seen repercussions. I ain't touching the game. Treat the pictures you like, we just making the frame. You can have a light, but we taking the flame. Strap your boots on, we finna march, it's time to march. Strap your boots on, we finna march, it's time to march. It's better to gun, never to run, either way ball to the righteous ones. I'm a soldier, dressed up fatigue until up my boots ain't scared of no one. Ready for war even if I'm asleep, waking up busting these niggas on sight. I'm shining like a motherfucker, even the blind can see the light. Y'all think I'm ready, but we come with the heat that make y'all do it again. Remain the same as we keep it real, the format bitch niggas could never win. And I'm always ready to attack, making sure that you ain't coming back. Even these bitches don't get no slag when these boots are fucking black. Nickel.
Dime qué tú quieres, papi. ¿Quieres que lo mueva para ti? Mueve. ¿Te gusta cuando me muevo así? Así. Muevo.
Hey, you, we up in the place. We up in the place. We up in the place. Hey, you, make your body shake. Make your body shake. Make your body shake. Hey, you, we up in the place. We up in the place. We up in the place. Hey, you, make your body shake. Make your body shake. Make your body shake. Hop, hop, jump. Skip up on the floor. If they didn't know, then we gon' let them know. Drop low,
giving them a show. We gon' give them something that they never seen before. Hop, scotch, 784, bouncing on the beat while keeping the flow. Stop, watch, freeze and go. Cock-a-doodle-doo is what you eating off the floor. Pop, lock, do it by yourself. You know you the best, you don't need nobody else. Rock, hip, toast to success. You was born a winner, so you never nothing less. Hey, you, we up in the place. We up in the place. We up in the place. Hey, you, make your body shake. Make your body shake. Make your body shake. Hey, you, we up in the place. We up in the place. We up in the place. Hey, you, make your body shake. Make your body shake. Make your body shake. Bow, bow, rock, rock, shake, shake, wiggle, 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 wiggle. Bow, bow, rock, rock, shake, shake, wiggle, 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 wiggle. Bow, bow, rock, rock, shake, shake, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Bow, bow, rock, rock, shake, shake, wiggle, wiggle. When we come through, make you move just a little. Clap, snap, do it from the hip. You can do this whether you stand or sit. Pump, fist, do it with your wrist. Pump it back and forth like you trying to catch a fish. Hip, twist, do a finger kiss. Rocking back and forth as you make your body shift. Top, tick, do it like you sick. 2 + 4 is 6, and that's a ripper thick. Top, 6, we gon' let it rip. We got your attention and we not gon' let it slip. So hands up, move your head and know what's up. Now it's shoulders rolling while you showing them your stuff. Hey, you, we up in the place. We up in the place. We up in the place. Hey, you, make your body shake. Make your body shake. Make your body shake. Hey, you, we up in the place. We up in the place. We up in the place. Hey, you, make your body shake. Make your body shake. Make your body shake. Bow, bow, rock.